as champions of the National League West. A year ago at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Harry Gant became only the third driver in Busch Grand National history to three-peat in victory lane. A year later, Robert Presley could become the fourth Busch Grand National driver to three-peat. Stay tuned to see if history repeats itself today in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Not a cloud in the sky as we come to you live from beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Preparing for the prelude to tomorrow's 500 live on TBS. Today, it's the All-Pro 300. Hello, I'm Ken Squire, and what a race we have for you. $320,000 at stake. There are 42 different dramas about to unfold down below us. I've just finished introducing the drivers, and in a moment you'll meet some of those dramas that will be taking place. Let's get Neil Bonnet in here, twice a winner of the 600. As we look at this field, the story here with 16 different winners in 28 races to date, it's a story of parity in NASCAR Grand National Racing.
I tell you, there's a lot of different winners, but more than that, there's a lot of contenders. This type of racing has gotten so good, it's almost bad on the guys that run weekly. We see a lot of top points guys and the guys in contention to win starting in the rear of this field. Some of them had to use provisionals even to get in the race. It's going to be tough to win from back there.
Now, as we mentioned to you, this is the prelude. Tomorrow is the 500. You will see it live here on TBS. Alan Kowicki will be on the pole. He qualified almost 3 miles an hour faster than anyone has ever traveled this mile and a half. And we have a new record here today, a mile quicker, as set by the young man you're about to meet. What's getting these speeds escalated for these two events this weekend?
These guys are running the corner speed so fast, it's unbelievable. These radial tires, they've got them dialed in. They know what makes them work now, and they're flying around this racetrack.
With more of the story of what's happening here at Charlotte this weekend, let's go to the Stanley Tool Pit Communications Center. Rick Benjamin is there.
Thank you, Ken Squire. Many stories that we'll be bringing you up to date on from our position here this afternoon. It's been a very interesting week at Charlotte, as it always is. First, of course, we're going to be focusing on the point race today in the Busch Grand National Series. Only 3 races to go. Let's take a look at where things stand. 4 drivers within 125 points of the lead. Todd Bodine has come on strong in the second half of the year. He's the leader, but Joe Nemechek is so close. 5 points down. You couldn't put a slip of paper between those 2 drivers at this point. Robert Presley, who's been the hottest driver, especially in the second half of the season. 5 victories so far, including 2 in a row. He's closed into within 112 points right now, although he has never really had much success here at Charlotte. Bobby Labonte, last year's champion, 125 points behind, certainly within striking distance, because you can score 175 points here today for a victory. Also today, many of the contenders, many of the top Winston Cup drivers, particularly who are in the field, have to come from way back in the pack. Let's take a look at a few of those drivers. Harry Gant, who won here last year, 22nd on the grid today. The 13th row will include Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip. Many think Darrell Waltrip is the driver to beat here today. They'll make up the 13th row. Morgan Shepherd, who always runs well here, will start in 30th spot. And also, one of the things we're going to be watching today, the situation in the north end of the racetrack. Turns 3 and 4 here at Charlotte. It's been ripply the last couple of years. Very bumpy here this fall, and there's a larger bump in turn 4 that many drivers, both in Winston Cup and Busch Grand National, are very, very concerned about. Some of the drivers have been telling us all week that the key to victory here today and tomorrow is going to be to get the right shock and spring combination on your race car so you can skate over those bumps and not upset the car. Of course, here it's very high-speed racetrack, and you need to keep the cars nice and stable and settled down so that you can run effectively in traffic. So those are among the stories we're going to be watching for you here today from the Stanley Pit Communications Center.
Now, one of the major stories here is Jeff Gordon. When he came here in May, he put that Ford on the pole, and then he drove away, winning dramatically on this racetrack. Well, once again, Jeff Gordon, of course, who will move on into Winston Cup racing next year, is on the pole for this race. And as we mentioned, he did it at a pole qualifying speed of some 173+ miles per hour. He's going to be a major contender. But let me tell you what's happened in the past 48 hours. Since they finished qualifying, they got down to serious practice. Mark Martin, who is starting inside of the second row, has done nothing but gone faster. And in the final practice session yesterday afternoon, we saw Mark Martin actually overcome the car number 1. A lot of folks say Martin will be the car to watch until something happens to it. And we'll be watching that early on in the going. We're also going to be following a lot of stories in the back of the field. Some of the very best are down there. Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt. Let's, for the moment, however, focus on the man on the pole. 10th time this season he's sat there. Here is Jeff Gordon with Dr. Dick Berggren.
Well, last time here, this guy dominated the event. He won the pole. He won the race, the biggest purse in the division's history. How about today, Jeff?
Oh, we got a good shot at it. You know, things are going really well for us so far this weekend, and we're just going to try to put it all together today. It's a long race and a lot of good competition, a lot of tough guys running really fast. So we'll just have to see if we got a little bit of luck and everything goes our way. I think we're going to have a good day.
You're going to try to run hard all the way or take it easy at the beginning?
Well, I think our car is going to come to us as the day goes along. I don't think we're going to be the fastest car at the beginning of the race, but the most important thing is that we lead that last lap, and that's what we're looking for today.
In 17th position is another major story here at Charlotte. He's seeking his 6th win of the season, his 3rd in a row. Storming up through the points comes Robert Presley.
Well, we're here with Robert Presley. Robert, you haven't had that much success here at Charlotte. 15th is your best finish in this race. What about it here today?
I think we look pretty good. You know, we've really come on here. We come and tested, run real good. Practice, we run good. You know, qualified is just so close from about 5th all the way to 40th, I think. And, you know, it looks good. We just got to get out here and finish this race and accumulate some points.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, they say this is the man to really watch this afternoon. Everyone is talking about Mark Martin. What's he got to say before this race starts?
Well, Mark Martin, many of the other drivers are picking you as the winner. What do you think?
We're running real good, but it's a real competitive field, and we don't have everybody covered. We're running good. Maybe we'll win.
4-time winner of the All-Pro 300 here each autumn at the Charlotte Motor Speedway is the great Darrell Waltrip, but he's back in 26th position.
Well, Darrell, you've yet to win on the Busch circuit this year, but a lot of the railbirds said you had a great car yesterday in practice. What about it?
Yeah, well, we did win practice yesterday. I could say that, and that's really good for us because we've struggled with this car on the Speedway this past year, and it's a new car, and it's a little different what we've been running, and so we're pretty excited. If we can just get from back here to the front where we need to be, we'll be okay.
Good luck out there today, Darrell.
Thanks a lot.
Let's go down to get that command to get this all underway at Charlotte.
It's like getting married. All right, let's do it again. Mr. White, 4, stand, let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine.
About 80,000 people giving the command to start your engines. Get us going here at Charlotte for our live coverage on TBS today and tomorrow. Stay with us for the All-Pro 300. It's about to unfold. First preliminary lap is underway. 200 racing laps today. It'll be some 300 miles, and it's run with a 15-minute halftime. There's a break in the middle of this race. The 20th annual All-Pro 300. You're riding with Hut Strickland, another serious contender to have a very good finish here today in that Stanley car. There you see some of the infield, and it sure looks like as big as they've ever had here at Charlotte on a Saturday. Weather's perfect for today and tomorrow. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the 20th annual Go. On the pole, 10th time this year, that's Jeff Gordon alongside the 2-time winner here at Charlotte's mile and a half, Dale Jarrett. Going to row number 2. Trying to end a 2-year dry spell in Grand National, Mark Martin and Ken Schrader, runner-up in last year's race. Row 3 today is Todd Bodine, the current Busch Grand National point leader, and Jack Sprague. Going to row 4, Tracy Leslie is there, and Rick Mast making his 15th Grand National start here in Charlotte. Row 5 will be Ernie Irvin, and alongside is Tommy Houston. Row 6 is Robert Powell, Mike Skinner, a couple of newcomers to the front of the field. Row 7, Ward Burton and Hut Strickland. In row 8, it's Phil Parsons and Butch Miller today. Row 9, Robert Presley and Michael Waltrip. For row 10, Jim Bound is there and Mike McLaughlin from the Northeast. Row 11, Chuck Bound, the former national champion, and Harry Gant, the defending champion of this race. Row 12 is Robert Huffman and Bobby Hillen Jr. For row 13, the 86 300 winner, Dale Earnhardt, and the 4-time winner, Darrell Waltrip. Row 14, that's Richard Lassiter out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Ricky Craven from up in Concord, New Hampshire. In row 15 is Jeff Burton and Morgan Shepard. Row 16, Joe Nemechek, currently number 2 in the points by just 5, and Bobby Labonte. In row 17, it's Mike Wallace and Jimmy Spencer. Row 18 is Kenny Wallace and Terry Labonte. Row 19, Dave Resendez and Tom Peck. Row 20, Steve Grissom, Shawna Robinson. Rounding out the field, Billy Strandberg and Tim Fedewa as the field gets set for a start. Oldsmobile pace car pulls in. We're ready to go racing live on TBS today and tomorrow. It's the 500 tomorrow, the Mellow Yellow. Don't miss it here on Turner Broadcasting. Green is out, and on the break, Gordon shoots into the lead by about 1 car length. And with him, Mark Martin, the number 60 down the inside, trying to shoot through for second. Woo! Got a spinner down in turn number 1 as they tried to get it underway. No caution on the track as yet. Car is down on the apron. There's the field roaring down into turn number 3. Still no sign of caution. Here they come to complete lap number 1. Yellow coming out. No. Robert Huffman is spun down in turn number 1. And we complete the first lap. He's just lying dead in the track. I'm sure they'll bring a caution out next time around. Here they are racing back, and I think here we go side by side for first place, and there goes Mark Martin shooting down to the bottom. Even going in. Caution is coming out. Yellow will be on, so they're racing back to the line. And as we mentioned at the outset, that number 60 of Mark Martin racing back to the line to try to be in the front when they get a restart. He's going to have that field covered. Up to third came Schrader. Back to fourth, Bell Jarrett, followed by Rick Maz, riding with Mark Martin in that Winn-Dixie car that shot up through. And there's Hut Strickland. Let's take a look. He's back in 14th right now. A replay, Neil, of what happened down here on the start.
Right past the start-finish line as they were coming up through the gears. Something like that could possibly happen. Miss a gear on the restart. A car behind him tagged him. After we see him, he's already started spinning. But the big question on whether to throw the flag or not, he was rolling right here on the apron. And he rolled around there about 100 yards, and the car wouldn't recrank, so they did have to throw the caution out.
Yellow is out for the first time today in lap number 2 as Mark Martin establishes himself as the leader of the event. There you see Robert Huffman's number 39 lying just inside of the first turn here on this 1.5 mile Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Anytime you bring out a caution at Charlotte and they push you off with a record, you're still in pretty good shape. We've seen a lot of cars spin here this week, and hopefully we won't have a lot of that today.
Well, there you see the facility. Looking grand. Had a great night of qualifying back on Wednesday. And Alan Kowicki went 179, almost 180 miles per hour to take the pole. 3 miles an hour better than what we'd ever seen the track turned at.
What's amazing about that is we're at this size facility, we're turning Daytona and Talladega speeds almost. And right here in this Busch series, with the lap that Jeff Gordon turned around this place, it's unbelievable. They're getting the numbers up there where they're really flying.
So next time by, from the Max Race Cards aerial platform, good look at this Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's the only place where you don't see the infield absolutely jammed is down here in that turn number 1 area. And of course, they raced in that area last night. They had the Can-Am cars in here, the Shelby Can-Am cars. But take a look over here at 3 and 4. Talk about gridlock.
Yeah, when these people come in, the reason it's not full down in 1 and 2, they've been here for 2 or 3 days. They were using the other end of the racetrack, and this end right here, they have homesteaded. They're here for the weekend.
Field in the back straightaway. They'll be taking green this time by. Tells you the story of where we're going, what we're doing here. Average speed 141 is the record. That could easily go away. That's Sam Ardmark if they keep down the number of cautions. We'll have to see about that. Our pit road speed today nailed at 55. Huffman's number 39 is on pit road. We're set for a go. With Mark Martin in front, Gordon second, Schrader third, Dale Jarrett fourth, Todd Bodine fifth, Rick Maz sixth, Tracy Leslie seventh, Bernie Irvin in eighth, Jack Sprague in ninth, Hut Strickland 10th, Tommy Houston 11th, and Mike Skinner back there in 12th. Green is on.
Had some cars jumped to the inside on the start. Got about 3 breaths coming through the trial. Heading down in turn 1, they got back at least in double file. There were 3 abreast as they entered that corner.
Back straightaway, and there's Todd Bodine, number 34, going beneath number 72, Tracy Leslie. Those 2 red cars, number 49, 3 into the point. just 5 points coming to today's race. And there goes Hut Strickland in the 92 down to the bottom side. He tries to find himself a hole. 5 laps complete as they cross the line. Strickland in the black number 92 looking for some running room. Ernie Irvin right there behind Todd Bodine and Tracy Leslie, 34 and 72 respectively. The 18 braking on the bottom of the racetrack. Up moves Dale Jarrett. Slides down here, gets a bit of a grab with Bodine. He's going for second spot. Dale Jarrett. Meanwhile, in front it remains Mark Martin, number 60. Tight running out of turn number 4.
There's Todd Bodine right up under the number 1 car, Jeff Gordon. He's faded just a little bit at the start of this race. He's got hung on the outside, and a few cars will get by him there.
Mark Martin out in front, trying to win for the first time this year in Grand National competition. He's had 8 career Grand National victories. Here he is storming out in that Dixie car number 60.
I tell you, he's got to have in his mind, that car has done that every Busch race he goes to. The car jumps out front, is plenty capable of leading races, and Mark is the first one to tell you if he can just get it to finish race, they got a real good shot to win. He's real fast. If they get the reliability there, Mark will win a lot of races with that car.
And his second at Rockingham at the Rock, and he had a couple of thirds this year. He'd like to stay right where he is. It's pretty hard to do. The last man that really dominated like that in a race was Dale Earnhardt back in 87. 200 laps. 86. Just stormed this week. Now there's Jimmy Spencer in the number 20 car, and you know Joe Nemechek is just in front of him as he wheels down out of turn number 4. And he's a man on a mission. Here's Earnhardt in the number 3.
He just hit the wall coming off the 4th turn. He was on the outside of a car, and they pinned over, and he bounced off the wall pretty hard. Looks like he's coming in.
So Earnhardt's bad luck. Remember, a year ago, he got set down by Robert Black for rough driving in this race. He was alleged to have hit Phil Parsons. There's always a lot of controversy about that. Most people didn't think that had been the way it had happened, but he was set down and wound up 39th. Earnhardt had a problem. Let's take a look and replay and see what happened, Neil Bonnet.
As they went in the corner, he went to the outside of Ward Burton. At the same time, looks like Mike Skinner going on the inside. Burton didn't see him out there. They went to the outside wall. Dale bounced it off the wall. Looked like it squared the car pretty good, but it looked like that usually knocks the rear and everything out of line. They were going to have to see if they could fix it.
So, Dale Earnhardt, the 1986 winner in the Goodwrench Chevrolet, comes on the pit road as you watch it live here. Meanwhile, jumping out to a 4-car length advantage. Call it 6. Mark Martin with Ken Schrader now zooming up into 2nd. Dale Jarrett 3rd and Todd Bodine 4th. 10 laps are now complete, and on a 10-lap rundown, you'd have Irvin 5th, Leslie 6th, Gordon 7th, Rick Maston 8th, Strickland in 9th, Tommy Houston 10th, Jack Sprague 11th, Michael Waltrip 12th, and Phil Parsons back in 13th with the Winn-Dixie car on board with Mark Martin in the lead.
When you say on board, it's like it's on a rail. He's got the car. He's really got a lot of power, but he's just running around the bottom, just flying.
But he's getting caught. Moving up on him is Schrader in the number 15. Look at this. He's cut that distance in half, has Schrader, as he continues to tighten this race up.
I talked to Schrader's guys earlier in the week, and they said they got here, they made 2 laps of practice. The car ran real fast. They qualified, and they were going to run 2 more laps of practice and park it. Sometimes you bring a car to the racetrack, and it's just that good. He's had very little bit of practice, but the car's been quick ever since he's been here.
Ken Schrader in that AC Delco Chevrolet, closing ever closer now. The Benton, Missouri campaigner has just won Grand National victory to his credit. That in 1989 at Dover, Delaware. And here he is, just 3 car lengths down from Martin as they work lap 13. And then it's about 30 car lengths back to the 3rd spot, Dale Jarrett.
Yes, Schrader's diving right on the back of Mark Martin. It seems like he's able to gain on him, getting off in the corner right there. And once it gets that close, he gets a little bit of help. When we start talking about the kind of speeds they're running around this racetrack now, the draft has certainly entered into this facility. And when you get that close, you get a little bit of help.
There you see the interval over the front of the field. There is that battle for 3rd. Jarrett leading it, followed by the point leader, Bodine, and right behind him, Ernie Irvin is there. Todd Bodine in that number 34 car. Dale Earnhardt back in the garage area. Randy Pemberton is with him.
Well, we're trying to get close to him. Dale, are you all right, first of all? What happened?
27 car facing off into the wall. I don't reckon he really thought I was out there. That's the way it goes.
You're feeling your leg a little bit. Are you okay?
It's all right.
Okay, a little bit upset, Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt having to wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, he won here in the 600 back in May, as you saw on TBS. He will be someone to deal with in that 500-mile race we'll be bringing you.
I'll tell you what, that hurts. Sometimes when you fall out of a race, you hate to let this race get away, but right here at the 60 car, Mark Martin, Ken Schrader, Earnhardt, a lot of those guys, today they can learn a lot about this racetrack and help their cars for tomorrow. So the more they got to run today, the better off they'll be tomorrow setting their cars up. So this is just a little training ground today, helping them out tomorrow.
We're back with that battle for third. There's Jarrett, Bodine, Ernie Irvin, third, fourth, fifth. And just behind them comes the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, in sixth, completing 16 laps this time by. There's Todd Bodine fading a little up in that turn four. Now, what's the story on turn four here?
The turn four is like it's been for years. It's a little bit ripply up there. Everybody knows it used to be a landfill. They packed it in there, investing in. They've got quite a few ripples in 3 and 4, but the reason they're seeing it so much now is these cars are running such tremendous corner speeds. There's Todd Bodine slid up in the middle of the corner down at 2.
He'll have to regroup. Got just a little loose up there on the second corner, and he falls back. Into the 6th position goes Bodine. Moving up is number 4, Ernie Irvin. He's into 4th.
Watching right here, here's Ken Schrader. He's taking another approach at Mark Martin. He's trying the outside. Going in the third turn, the lap before, Kenny stuck the nose outside of Mark to see what he could do with him. He's been trying low and low as they go down this back straightaway and going through. Kenny's been taking a little bit higher line to see if he can find a way around Mark.
Battle for the lead. Number 60, Mark Martin is there for the moment. Schrader in that second spot.
Schrader lost a little bit of ground when he tried him to the outside. That time he was content to follow through the corner.
Take a look at this battle for third spot. Ernie Irvin hugs the bottom of the racetrack. Jarrett on the high side in that Interstate Batteries car. And here comes number 1, slithering up on the bottom comes Jeff Gordon into Baby Ruth number 1 to take another spot. 3 wide out of 2.
Yeah, there comes Bodine right back on the inside. He slipped a little bit, lost the ground. Now he's working right back into the middle of it again.
What a point battle this has been. Earlier this season, we're dealing with Richmond. Nemechek led by a single point. Now it's still only 5, but 3 races to go. Grand National season ends in Hickory, North Carolina, not very far from this Charlotte Motor Speedway, November the 8th. Battle for the lead continuing as they work lap 20. Martin still there looking for that first win of the season. Schrader riding right with him. There's the approach into turn 3, and here comes Schrader digging in on the bottom of the racetrack.
Got a good run at him off 4 turn this time, Kenny. There he goes. He's pulling by him through the trial section of the track.
It's Schrader out in front. Ken Schrader puts a Chevy into first. Drops that Ford back into second place.
Well, you know, everybody else was talking about how strong Martin was. And he said he was, but he said, I haven't got everybody covered. He might have been clocking Schrader because Schrader put the move on him.
200 laps, 300 miles. The All-Pro Auto Parts 300 is what you're watching on the 1.5 mile. Charlotte Motor Speedway. And look at this. Martin coming right back after him.
And this is when it's fun, Ken, when they get to swapping the lead like this. Schrader made the pass. Mark says, hey, I'm going to take it right back. 1 lap later, he's trying for the lead again.
From the Max Race Cards aerial platform. Great view of this Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Night's on fire.
Got a car coming in. Car number 4. Ernie Irvin is retiring. Ernie Irvin. And we got a car on fire down in turn number 1. Sliding across the racetrack. That looks like Mike Wallace's car out of St. Louis coming to a rest. Mike Wallace goes up in smoke at lap 22. Caution coming out. Mike Wallace clambering out of car number 9. He had a good qualifying run, but it's all for naught for Mike Wallace. Another one of those Wallace brothers. Had high hopes here today. It's not going to work out.
It's nice to see him crawl out of that car and stand up, but the good thing is seeing him pulling those gloves and stuff off. A lot of fire in the car, and now all these guys are wearing a lot of safety equipment, and they can withstand the kind of punishment it takes.
The Duron Paints Oldsmobile in big trouble as it came down across the line here.
This happened through the trial where the car was smoking real bad. That's an oil fire. The engine blew. There's oil back on the headers. The headers are stainless steel, and they get cherry red, and it just ignites the oil. And that's about as hot a fire as you can stand with that oil burning in there.
Running in 29th position when the day concludes for Mike Wallace out of St. Louis, Missouri. We'll be back with more of our live coverage of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway after these messages.
Couldn't ask for a more beautiful Saturday afternoon for stock car racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we look down from above. Good to have you with us today here on WTBS. And one of the stories that we're going to continue to follow throughout the afternoon, who is doing the best job in the pits? It's always one of the stories we like to keep track of. At the end of today's race, the True Value Master Mechanic will be selected. We'll let you know who the winning crew chief is for that award. It always goes to a gentleman who helps one of the drivers perform extra specially well here today. And we'll have that for you later on.
We just saw Tommy Houston come onto pit road at number 6. Ernie Irvin has retired from the field. It's 24, working lap 25 at the present time. The guy that got hurt the most was number 15 in that pit stop. That was Schrader. He had a pit stop of 21 and 9/10 seconds. He came in running first. He comes out in 10th as we get ready to go again. There you see Schrader. He's got some running to do to get himself back up in front. And who's in front of him? Well, Michael Waltrip will be leading. Jim Bound out of Oregon. Chuck Bound's younger brother will be in second. Todd Bodine will be in third. Jeff Gordon in fourth. Dale Jarrett in fifth. Terry Labonte in sixth. Hut Strickland seventh. Mark Martin eighth. Bobby Hillen is up in ninth with Ken Schrader, that 10th position car. And Harry Gant from 22nd is now 11th.
Yeah, I tell you what, that thing really cost Schrader. I don't know if he put 4 tires on or whatever the deal was, but he worked his way up there and took the lead. Looked pretty stout, and now he's back in that pack. And here's Hud Strickland right up front now. He's got his car up in contention.
Yeah, take a look. You know, even at 55 miles an hour, pit road can get real interesting.
Yeah, here's Mark Martin coming out of the pits. Here comes Hud Strickland, 92 car turning out. Here comes Mark Martin, near collision on pit road. And this is at 55 miles an hour, and everybody wonders why they slowed the speeds down. It's hard enough at any speed to get that many cars in and get them out as quick as they can.
Another big change out here in the picture at the moment. We mentioned Terry Labonte in 6th. Remember, he started 36 in this race. He's looking perfect. Car number 9 is brought back to the garage area. Dr. Dick Bergeron is standing by with a guy who's always a serious contender in any race here at Charlotte, and he's out of this one early. Let's find out what happened to Ernie Irvin.
Ernie, what happened? Well, not real sure. The thing started fluttering real bad down the back straightaway, and don't know if it was in the ignition or something, but wasn't going to be able to finish it like that, so we figured we'd bring it in and try to figure out what's wrong.
And they're slowly taking the valve covers off, going to do a diagnostic on it. But these guys, the Winston Cup guys, who are not in it for the points, they're in no hurry to get back out on the racetrack again.
So that's the story on Ernie Irvin, who comes right back out here tomorrow for the 500. He'll be a serious contender to win. Hope you're going to be with us for our flag-to-flag coverage tomorrow afternoon. There you see the take one. 26 laps now complete. They'll take green on 27.
And just as well, we're getting ready to go green. Robert Presley, who's a big player in this thing. Presley just going down pit road, and they're doing a little bit of work, but look like making a chassis adjustment. So it's not going to cost him here on the caution. It's just going to cost him a lot of track position.
And track position counts a lot here.
It looks like seat position there is going to depend a lot. You get up, you'll lose your seat in this place. It's packed.
Robert Presley is back out, but he'll be on the tail end of the field as we get ready to go. Robert Presley will be back in 37th on this start. Among the point contenders, Todd Bodine comes out third. Joe Nemechek will be in 20th. Remember, he has a 5-point deficit to Todd Bodine in the Grand National points as we get down to these final races of the season. There you see Robert Presley catching up with the tail end of the field. Field down in the back straightaway. He's there now. He's got some racing to do. It'll be fun to watch Robert Presley. He had that great win at Darlington earlier this season. Super Speedway victory. A lot of people say he should go to win. Caution's coming back out. Caution is coming back on the field. Going to take another lap before they turn him loose. Robert Presley out here in the back of the field after he won Darlington. It was the time when everybody begins to talk about who's going to be running in what Winston Cup car. And because he's had so much success this year, they're talking about Presley to move up.
And he said then, he said, I've had a couple of fairly good offers, but I've faced up to the fact that I've got a lot to learn, particularly on those bigger tracks. I'm just not ready yet. He just wants to stay here in Grand National. But winning at Darlington, I would think, in any kind of racing would be ready to move you up.
He's probably as level-headed a competitor I've seen in the sport in a long time. There's a lot of people said he's ready, and when he thinks he's ready, he will be. I believe he can move up right now and race a Winston Cup car, but he wants some good experience with what he's got winning races.
Son of Bob Presley, who was a great racer, too. There's more on the Mark Martin story. Here you are riding with Mark Martin in 8th position. Let's go to the pits and get it now.
Well, I'm down here with Steve Neal. Steve, he might not be able to get up to speed too good on this restart. We understand the clutch is gone.
He'll be fine. The only time we have trouble is on pit road. He has to shut the engine off and get it knocked out of gear, and we'll push him off in gear, spinning the starter. As far as on the racetrack, he can change gears without the clutch, so we're in real good shape. The only problem is a green flag stop. I can't imagine a green flag stop between now and halfway, and we'll work on it at halfway. We should be okay.
Car's been great.
Yeah, he said he was a little bit loose with Kenny behind him, and he said Kenny waved him off when he was behind Kenny. So it's kind of hard to run with somebody tucked up under you like that, but we're in good shape.
Getting ready to go green from 8th position.
We just saw him make that shift. It's just like anytime you work with the throttle and the clutch assembly and just get it. There he goes. He's going up through the gears. He didn't have any trouble shifting.
Here he comes on a tear. Meanwhile, here's Hut Strickland from 7th position trying to move up to. Pulls up on Todd Bodine. Incredible pictures as you watch it live. This battle for the lead on the restart. Out in front is Michael Walter. Again riding in that Stanley car with Hut Strickland bouncing their way down to turn number 3 at about 165, 170 miles an hour with a 34 sideways there for a moment.
Todd Bodine's car, we just heard him say when you get behind a guy, you get him real loose. Someone was tucked in behind Bodine, got him loose, and he was wiggling all over the racetrack.
Interval 1st to 10th. How about 7/10 of a second?
We used to come to Charlotte and they say, is it a big super speedway with the big drafts? It might not have been in the past, but it is now. With the numbers they're running down these straightaways, the draft is really entering into what these guys are doing.
Riding with Mark Martin now in the 8th position. Here they are battling down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Watch them as they come through 4. Little correction there, what?
Yep. We just had a call. They checked down. Dick Bergeron's down and find out what happened to Robert Presley. Let's go down to Dick and see what's going on.
Well, Neil, what happened was Robert Presley was caught speeding on pit road. Today we've got a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit here. NASCAR said he was going faster than that, so they brought him in. It was a penalty. As long as the car was here, they adjusted it a little bit, and he's off and running.
Gave him a ticket and sent him on his way. And it wasn't to the policeman's ball. Michael Waltrip is out in front in car number 30. He has that much of a lead over the white number 1 of the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, and running 3rd is Jarrett. Michael Waltrip making his 11th Grand National start of the year. He won at Darlington earlier in the season, starting 15th.
We keep mentioning track positioning. Walter was fired back in the middle of that pack while ago. On this set of pit stops, he got himself out front, and he's able to stay there now.
And look who's catching up. Todd Bodine is getting back into it in 4th position. Hut Strickland is up to 5th. Terry Labonte is into 6th, and Jim Bound has fallen to 7th position. As we work lap 33, there you see Dale Jarrett in the interstate car running back in 3rd spot. Started up front today, outside of the front row. Dale Jarrett says that finding the right shock absorber combination has helped put him into contention.
They've done a lot of work over there in 3 and 4, and it's much better than it was. I think just finding the line and shocks are a big part of it. And my crew chief on the Winston Cup car, Jimmy Maytar, probably knows more about shocks than anybody around here. And he's helped me a lot in that respect. And that's what enabled me to qualify 2nd, I think, was to get the shocks right.
Sure seems to have it right at this moment as he gets beneath Gordon. And Jarrett goes back to 2nd position behind leader Michael Waltrip in the Pontiac. We understand that Robert Presley may have an engine going sour out there. Robert Presley seeking another win, be his 3rd in a row. All the guys get up toward that 3. It's hard to catch 4.
We just saw Todd Bodine go by with the 18 car when he made the pass on Jeff Gordon. There they go. They got together going off 2. The back end broke loose on the 18 car. It was hard to tell.
Among the leaders, Todd Bodine leading in the point standings. by only 5 points over Nemechek. Looks like they've destroyed that car, and there you see Dale Jarrett, the leaders, in big trouble, just behind the man on the point, coming back to the stripe. Number 30, Michael Waltrip. Second across is Gordon, and coming across third is Labonte, followed by Strickland, Phil Parsons, Ken Schrader, Mark Martin, Harry Gant, Kenny Wallace, and Darrell Waltrip, in that order, coming across the stripe. This incident taking place in the 35th lap at turn 2. Looks like the end of the day for Dale Jarrett in the number 18, and for the man who was number 1 in points when we came into today's race, Bodine in the 34. Jim Bound running 9th. He also got a piece of that. I mean, he got a good piece. His car now coming down pit road.
Okay, let's see if we can take a look. Well, here's the 98 car coming down pit road. No tire at all on the right rear. They're going to have to work. They got the jack on the car. Let's see if we can take a look at the replay of what happened coming off second turn. There's Todd Bodine. Well, there's Jeff Gordon right there in front of Todd Bodine, the red car. The green and black car, looks like they got together going down in the corner. Looks like Bodine might have got in the back end of Jarrett, got him turned around. It's hard to tell from that angle, but it looked like they touched as they entered the corner.
We'll sure want to hear from those two about what happened up here in turn number 2. And there is that car of Bound getting snarled on the bottom of the racetrack.
We're wondering why he came in without a tire. He's sitting on the back straightaway. Virtually ripped it off of there.
Ah, that's a bad break for Bound. No sponsor, very little money, lots of desire. Good racer from the Northwest. His day looks like it's over.
Yeah, there's a good idea what kind of banking those guys are doing. That's not in the middle of the corner. That's really right there. As you exit the corner, the banking is about twice that steep in the middle of the corner. Putting a lot of oil dry. It looked like fuel might have been coming out of the car. Might have broken a fuel line when it hit the wall. And they're really quick to get on top of it. Charlotte has got an excellent crew here.
So the Hungry Jack Chevrolet gets soundly thrashed in that crash with Jarrett and with Bound at turn 2. Pits are now open. Tommy Houston taking another opportunity. Here's Robert Presley in. They continue to work on his car. As we understand, there may be a piston going sour.
Boy, when he came by on the caution a while ago, it sounded like a dead duck in the water. It was just fluttering and barely running. Their concern now will be just get it where it can maybe finish the race, just get it where to struggle along the rest of the day.
So they continue to pick up those cars over in the turn 2 area. Both Jarrett and Bodine's machine. Bound brought his around onto pit road. Wrinkled and torn up down the right flank. And he's back in again. His dad has come east with him several times to go racing here. Now there you see the 87 of Nemechek. He's in 12th position at this point, and this could cause a revolution in the point standings another time.
He's in 12th, but he's in the driver's seat right now. The guy that he's really fighting with, the top contenders, had major problems. He just needs to ride this thing out. It's hard to tell a guy, hey, we don't really want to win today, but you got to tell him to take care of that thing and save it for the end. They can go make big strides on the points.
And Nemechek can win on big tracks. We saw him do it up at Loudon, New Hampshire at the New Hampshire International Speedway. He looked fantastic up there, and that was a race in which Bodine crashed late in the going. He got snarled up there with Jimmy Spencer. Anyway, we're getting ready for a restart with 37 laps complete. All Pro 300 live from Charlotte, North Carolina. 28-year-old Todd Bodine's hopes for a national championship may have ended right here. Car on the hook coming back from an incident at turn 2 in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Badly banged up. Let's go down for a Goodyear update on other motorsports news before we continue here this afternoon.
Well, Ken, it's been a bit.
Rick Benjamin, Dale Jarrett's car is just being brought back in and going back behind the wall. There's the number 18, the Interstate car, in serious trouble. We'll get an update for you if there's any chance either of those two can come back. And we've got some pretty interesting replays of what happened. Let's take a look from the high side at what happened out here, Neil.
We were talking, there was Jeff Gordon going in behind Bodine in the red car. They go down in the corner. There's Jarrett in the black and green car. Looked like Bodine got in there a little hot in the corner and tagged him in the rear. And after that, they're on for a ride.
How about this view from Hut Strickland in the car number 92, the Stanley Tool cars? He came up on this incident going into turn number 1. You're riding at normal speed right now, about 165 miles an hour. There it goes.
Boy, there it goes. That car in front of him had a little bit better view, got on the brakes. But rammed him in the rear, but he was able to keep going. See him shift it third gear. The hard thing to do is when they have a wreck, don't stay there. Get that thing moving and get out of that area, because it's going to be piling up behind you.
Now let's ride with Mark Martin. Normal speed.
Boy, right in this cloud of smoke, you just hope there's nothing on the other side of it. Coming off the corner, you're hoping, hey, let them get down, stay high. Boy, in and out of the gas, working through there.
Whoa.
Dodge another car to the right. Well, I tell you, some days you just do the right thing, and some days you can't do anything right. But he went through there and missed about 3 different wrecks.
Had the right saint on that one, didn't he?
Sir.
We're showing 40 laps are now complete. Major incident in turn number 2 has seen the hook go out for Todd Bodine, the current Busch Grand National point leader, and for Dale Jarrett. We're trying to get you some updates right now. Meanwhile, number 59, Presley, winning 2 in a row. His car is sitting directly across from us here at the start-finish line, and the hood is up, and they continue to work on Robert Presley's car. Let's go to the PCC. I think we can get a word with one of those guys in that incident.
Dale Jarrett is standing by with me down here, Ken Squire. And Dale, sorry to see you out of it so early.
Yeah, it's a shame. The Interstate Battery Chevrolet was pretty good. We made an adjustment. The car was a little bit tight at the first of the race, and we made an adjustment on our pit stop and got us a couple of tires, and thought I was in pretty good shape.
Good qualifying run. Now we're seeing Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon run up top. Who do you think looks toughest so far?
Well, I think Mark Martin. I don't know if he was in the wreck or not, really. I don't know what happened behind him. But Jeff Gordon's going to be tough to beat, and Mark, there's a couple of good cars right there.
Now, tomorrow, you're going to be here, of course, in the Mellow Yellow 500. How do you feel about tomorrow's event on TBS?
Real good. The Interstate Battery Chevrolet is really good. We start 7th tomorrow. I just hate today. We had a real good car. The guys have worked awfully hard to get us to this point, and I thought we had a good shot at winning.
Sorry to see you out of it, so good luck tomorrow, Dale Jarrett.
Thanks.
Well, the man leading right now defeated Dale Jarrett at Darlington to get his 1 win of the season. Michael Waltrip, he needs a win. This team desperately needs a win at Pennzoil car.
They'd like to win in their Winston Cup car, but in this Busch car certainly would be a shot in the arm, too. He runs good at most of the short track. Here he comes right here. Here comes Jeff Gordon sticking a nose up under Michael.
Pontiac versus Ford. Pontiac on the outside, the Thunderbird down low, and the Bird's on top. The number 1 car. Young 21-year-old Jeff Gordon out of Pittsburgh, Indiana. We've got a spin down in turn number 2. Not going to collect anybody. It goes all the way around, and it's Burton in car number 8. Jeff Burton out of South Boston, Virginia, looping 1. Yellow is out another time. Racing back to the line. Gordon first. Waltrip second. Lamonte third. Strickland. Phil Parsons having a very good day. And there lies the number 8 car of Jeff Burton. Got into turn number 3. Next thing you knew, it was away. And turn number 2, next thing you knew, it was away.
I saw him after spin. I see oil on the track or some kind of liquid. I don't know if that's after he hit the wall or if it happened before, but boy, it snapped out from under him in a hurry.
6 in points. He wants to get back in this if there's any possibility. Started 29th in today's race. He too is another one of those budding stars. He won that second race up at New Hampshire this season over the long distance. On the mile. Here he is coming out. Jeff Burton of South Boston, Virginia, former champion at that track there. One of NASCAR's fine short tracks. After 45 laps, it was Jeff Gordon in a Ford leading here in the All-Pro 300 at Charlotte. The Pontiac of Michael Waltrip was running in second spot. Going third was Terry Labonte in his Oldsmobile. In the 4th position, Hut Strickland in a Chevrolet. And riding 5th on the field, Phil Parsons having a great day in his Oldsmobile. Phil Parsons, 5th spot. There you see the 8. It took some damage. And apparently Ward Burton banged up an ankle. We saw him gingerly walking away from the car. They asked for the ambulance out there. They wanted to have him take a look over in the infield hospital at just what his condition was. Let's take a look at the Fram race story. If you're just joining us, Gordon was the pole sitter at 173 miles an hour, but Mark Martin from 3rd spot shot by him and led to lap 20. Then Kenny Schrader, he made an inside move. He came to 3rd, from 3rd up through to 1st, followed by Michael Waltrip taking the lead, and dominating for a while, and just before this caution flag threw, it was Jeff Gordon back into the lead.
Let's go down, Ken, with Dick Berger, and he's got something for us.
Well, Neil, I wanted to let you know that here at Charlotte, the Busch Grand National cars have a 15-minute break starting at lap 102, and during that break, they can change 4 tires, they can put fuel in the car, they can wipe the windshield, anything on a normal stop. They cannot do anything they wouldn't ordinarily do on a normal stop. Now, the top 2 cars, they're going to go all the way to that break, not stop for anything unless they've got some sort of a problem. Then they got 15 minutes to look at the car and try to make it run faster.
So what can you do, Dick? You can clean the windshield. You can probably make some adjustment in the handling, change some tires, but that's about it, right?
Yeah, one of the things the crews wanted to be able to do this morning, Ken, was change what's called a track bar in the back, and that would make the car run a little bit better or a little bit worse, depending on where you put it. They were able to do that here in the spring. This time around, NASCAR said no, and that's fouled up a couple of the teams, Gordon among them. They had planned when they went with this setup that they would have the opportunity to change that track bar. So there are the few things you can do, but not very many.
Dick, when they put the cars on the line, did they have some of them on the line before they had that driver's meeting where it kind of locked them in?
Yeah, they did, Neil. But by the same token, our weather has changed a lot here today, too. So it's between the weather, the rules, there's a lot of things stirring all this up, and I think the crews are going to be grateful to have that 15-minute break. They can change the tires. By the way, by doing that, they can change the air pressure in the tires. That'll change the spring rate, too. There's a bunch of things they can do, but not a ton.
As we come back to restart at lap 48, here are the drivers that did not qualify, some of the drivers that a lot of folks know. Joe Bessie, who was driving that Elliott car number 11, that Ford, did not make it. Mike Stefanik from up in the Northeast, Jeff Green, Ed Barrier, Troy Beebe, David Rogers, Bobby Dotter crashed in that practice or in that consolation race, qualifying race yesterday. He didn't make it into the field, nor did David Rogers. So those are some names that are not here from the Grand National ranks. Take a look at this start as Jeff Gordon pops out in front by 2 car lengths in number 1.
So Hut Strickland dive down to the inside. He was moving up 3rd or 4th place there. There's Hut down on the inside, trying for 4th position. Well, really 3rd. Presley must have corrected that car, Ken. They were working under the hood. They might have had a plug go bad or something in it because he's running right there with the leaders again.
But he's 4 laps down, as we understand it.
Cars out there right now are Winston Cup drivers. And one of those reasons that they're out there is because when we run races like Charlotte, Atlanta, places that are coupled together with Winston Cup events, a lot of these teams get the benefit of having their Winston Cup crew chiefs and the Winston Cup crews work on the cars. Not only does it help them during pit stop, but most importantly, it helps them on Saturday and Friday afternoon practice sessions. That's where they get the cars tweaked up. And the Winston Cup teams, well, they really know how to make them run on these long speedways.
You know, in the past, that might not have been a big advantage to run a 6-cylinder on Saturday and run a V8 on Sunday, but they've got the 6s running so strong that the speeds are compatible to the big cars, so it lets them learn a little bit more about what the racetrack's doing. Here's Hut Strickland trying to put a move on Mark Martin now on the inside.
And Waltrip right there as well, Darrell Waltrip. Both Waltrips up in the top 10 at the present time. As they come back to the strike, Jeff Gordon leads, Michael Waltrip second. Terry Labonte 3rd, Ken Schrader 4th, Bill Parsons up to 4th. Ken Schrader 4th, Bill Parsons 5th, followed by Mark Martin 6th, Strickland 7th. Terrell Waltrip there was an 8th. He's gotten around. Strickland puts him up to 7th. Strickland falls to 8th. Bobby Phillips 9th. Harry Gant in 10th, and just moving up into 11th from that 12th spot, Joe Nemechek. For the lead, number 30, Michael Waltrip bearing down.
There's Terry Labonte. Labonte is driving the white number 14. He had to run a consolation race yesterday to get in this event, and he's worked his way back up front.
Those 3 cars pulling away by 40 car lengths from the 4th place man on the field, Ken Schrader. Then it's another 10 or 15 car lengths back. We've had another swap of positions. Mark Martin comes up to 5th. Bill Parsons drops to 6th. Waltrip still 7th. Darrell and Strickland in 8th. Followed by the 28 car, Bobby Hillen driving that 28, that Texaco car this afternoon.
And there went Terry Labonte right around Michael Waltrip in the 2nd position. You know, Ken, yesterday in the qualifying race, he ran real strong. Looks like he's got his car working a lot better than when he qualified. Here he comes diving in right on the bumper of Jeff Gordon. He closed in about 2 or 3 car lengths in that one lap.
"54 laps now complete. Many expect that Jeff Gordon, Winston Cup's next big superstar. Ernie Irvin offered him some advice.
Me, Mighty Mouse? Jeff's really good. You know, he's got a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent for 21. You know, the big thing he's got to do is just get out there and just remember that it takes a long time to win in a Winston Cup car, and realize he doesn't have any pressure. I've talked to Jeff a lot, and he's going to be one of our guys in the next couple of years. We're going to be racing hard every week.
You have to watch out for those Mighty Mice. Remember that Alan Kowicki used to wear a Mighty Mouse on his as a shoulder patch on his uniform. Now he's turned into Captain Marvel, as has been pointed out here in the Charlotte Observer. After 46 of 200 laps, here's a rundown of the entire field. Front of the field is working the 55th lap at this moment. This is a complete rundown on the standings. Nemechek has already picked up a spot. Give you a chance to look back through the field here and see some of the other runners. There's Parsons, followed by Darrell Waltrip in the 17. Bill Parsons having a really good run out here in that number 29.
Yeah, we're watching Darrell Waltrip right there. He said at the top of the show that he won practice yesterday afternoon, which means he had the fastest car on the track. And Darrell has worked his way up into the front of the field here now. All he's got to do is hold this position, and at the halfway mark, then he'll be ready to make the move at the end of the race. But his car is as good as everybody said. He's worked all the way from the rear, strictly on the track.
Bill Parsons, he's had only 6 1992 starts. He had 4 top 10 finishes. Cars coming together. Matchbox White Rose Oldsmobile for Bill Parsons, and now moving away from Darrell Waltrip by a car length and a half. He's in 6th position. Waltrip is in 7th. Bill Parsons has picked up 1 Grand National win in his career, that back in 1982 on the high banks of Bristol, Tennessee. 17 Oldsmobiles, 14 Chevrolets, 5 Fords, 5 Pontiacs, and a Buick made up the field for this afternoon's 42-car race. Here's Mark Martin, as you ride with him in the 4th position, closing in on 3rd place, the Pennzoil car of Michael Waltrip.
We talked on that caution how Schrader was back. Schrader and Mark Martin were back there. Mark has gotten around Schrader now, and he's working on Mike Waltrip, trying to take over 3rd position. Here he goes, turning under him off of the corner.
You're riding. Pictures live out of that car as they fight for position going into turn 1. And give it to Mark Martin up in the 3rd spot now. Comes sweeping out of turn number 2 and into the back straightaway. Looking for Terry Labonte just up there in front. Just hiding below him. Rear view mirror. Really gives you a sense of how little you see on these 24-degree banks at Charlotte, Neil.
When you go off in the corner, you're looking at the top of the windshield, really the roof of the car, and it really limits your vision. The key is to look across the corner before you get there. Just look to the left right now, make sure there's no problem on the other side, because right here you can't see anything but half of that corner. You see about 200 yards out in front of you.
So at 170 miles an hour, you are really in the hands of that guy on the radio.
That's Strickland's car right here. We're in his car.
Camera's mounted a little lower. Crouched down. Here's Nemechek going up through. Number 87 going up into 9th position. Joe Nemechek just shot right down through the bottom and takes another spot. He's taking the bit in his mouth and running right now. Steve Grissom's number 31 comes onto pit road slowly. 61 laps complete here in the first segment of this race. 200 laps the overall distance at 102. They're in. 15-minute intermission, then they're back. I like this format. A lot of people don't.
Well, it gives you an opportunity to come in and fix a car, and it's almost like having 2 races in one. You come in there, you dial the car in, you line them up and go again. This is kind of like 2 heat races, and then you just see what happens at the end.
I just wish they'd let them do a little more, so if you were off, you could make a few more adjustments and get yourself back in this thing. One driver who's trying to rebuild his career is Phil Parsons in that 29. He knows that doing well in Charlotte will be a big help.
There's a lot of prestige, obviously, with this event, and you know, the thing about really all the Busch races, as far as that goes on the super speedways, is the guys, you know, a lot of the people watching control the purse strings in the Winston Cup Series, and that's, and make no bones about it, that's what I'm out here for, is to try to run well and impress some people and get back in the Winston Cup Series.
Talking about impressing people, Mark Martin is pretty impressive himself. He just went around Labonte, ran him down from a good way back.
Puts him second.
Now the next, he just ran down one white car. He's got one more to go for the lead.
Jeff Gordon still stays in front, and there's the interval between first and second place.
Boy, Gordon got real high that time.
Didn't he turn that thing all the way up on the outside? He squared that corner. There's Martin in second, and another move like that by Gordon's going to cost him big. That cost him about 5 car lengths.
Yeah, it cost him a little distance out front, but look at the gap that Mark Martin is putting on the third place car of Labonte. He's pulled out 4 or 5 car lengths there too, so he's the lead car gave up a little bit, and he picked up 1 second, so he's really moving in on it.
0.8 of a second between first and second. The last lap, we'll check it this time by Labonte third, Michael Waltrip fourth, Schrader fifth. Gant is in 6th. Now that's right, Harry Gant. You remember him from last year. Started 25th, won the thing. Gant started 22nd today. He's up to 7th. He might as not well run a qualifying lap. Just take a provisional starting berth and get out there and win these races.
I tell you, you know, I know people get tired of us joking about it, but Harry just takes it in stride. He says, man, if I can get in the race, I got a chance to win it. But qualifying, they just can't get her up to speed. But once they start, he rolls right along.
6th there, you see Harry Gant in car number 7. Now running in 6th position, the 1987 and 1991 All-Pro Auto Parts champion, around Waltrip. And looking for Ken Schrader. Schrader in 5th. And look at Nemechek in the 87. He's up to 9th in his fight with Phil Parsons for the moment. He had him up another spot a moment ago. Now they're showing him back in 9th. That's about 7 seconds behind the leader, and here comes Nemechek underneath Phil Parsons. You know, this is reminiscent of that New Hampshire race. Remember, Nemechek just got faster and stronger all through it? Boy, the story is, as we watch the leader, take a look at this battle. The big story down here in Charlotte is the story up in New England. We're talking about this press conference next Wednesday, when they'll presumably announce a Winston Cup race in New England for the first time since they used to hold them over in Oxford, Maine, where Bobby Allison won his first Winston Cup race. Here's Martin down on the inside. A lot of questions to be resolved up in Boston next Wednesday, we understand. Mark Martin to the inside. Ford versus Ford going into turn number 1. Give it to Mark Martin. 68, lap 68 when it happened.
Boy, he ran him down from a long way back. That set of pits, that last caution had him way back in the pack, and he just picked his way through traffic to take the lead. While that was going on, Schrader has moved up into 4th place. Those were the 2 cars here. He just passed Mike Waltrip just a lap or so ago. This 15 car and the 1 lead. The 1 car seemed to be the 2 fastest cars on the track.
We understand, gentlemen, that Jeff Burton, the driver of car number 8, has been taken to the hospital. He apparently injured his ankle. They took him to the infield care center when he got out of the race car. He got out under his own power. They decided to send him on to the local hospital for a closer look. So Jeff Burton is not at the Speedway at the moment. We wish him well.
Yeah, Rick, we saw when he hit the wall, the car turned around and the left side hit. You hate to see that anytime. It looked like he was limping on his left ankle. He probably squared the car on the left side, and his leg flew over and hit the roll bars or something.
Roll bar got caught on a pedal?
Yeah, you just can't. You're geared up, turn left all the time. All your bracing and probably 90% of your support area is on the right side of your body for the left-hand turns. And when you take a lick to the left, there's just not that much support there.
Watching the field, maybe one of your favorites out here today. Here's how they're looking as they go down into turn number 1 out of that tri-oval area here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Meanwhile, up in front, take a look at Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon continuing to pound this field as they roll away. Number 60 in front, Gordon in second. Terry Labonte stays third. Schrader is in 4th. Michael Waltrip falling to 5th. Harry Gant now being shown as 6th. Waltrip in 7th. That's Darrell. Joe Nemechek in 8th. Nemechek in 8th and Parsons in 9th is the way they're giving the rundown.
Well, Jeff Gordon has put a tremendous effort into this race. Gordon and his crew, in fact, put more effort into preparing for this event than I have ever seen a Busch Grand National team put into any event. what they're trying to do is make this thing run at the end. Charlotte is a racetrack that tends to tighten up the car. That's what they're trying to get away from. They don't want the car to tighten up. But guess what? It did. It's getting tighter and tighter as the race wears on. He has just gotten a radio transmission from his crew. Take it easy. Don't burn that right front off. Make it to the halfway point. Gordon is not as fast as he was.
And Martin seems to be getting faster here by the moment. Replay of the last 2 practice sessions for Mark Martin. From the Max Race Cards aerial platform. I saw your card. You got 2 cards in there. How did you do that?
I don't know. I just saw it myself. I've had one for a while. They came up with you. I'll tell you, that was a unique deal the way that started.
How?
There was a sportscaster here in Charlotte, Jim McCullen. He started the Max card. He went to a race to cover a race, and he said, he'd never been. He said, give me some of those cards so I can see what the drivers look like. He didn't know the drivers. He said, hey, they don't make cards on drivers. He said, I think I'll do it. He went from making a few in his living room to just making millions of them. It's really worked out great for the drivers and for Max also.
And they have a big collector set now out that they're going to be talking about the next couple of months. Big time. Well, thanks for being with us today. Hope you're enjoying the live coverage from Charlotte of the All-Pro 300. More in a moment. Working the 79th of 200 laps. The All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at the 1.5 mile Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Martin in car number 60. For the moment, the dominant factor in this race. He's run down and overwhelmed everybody out there in that machine. And watch him as you ride with him now. He's got a handful.
Well, I tell you, look at him working the wheel. He's having worked some traffic. There's Presley having a little bit of motor trouble. He's 3 deep down on the apron. There's 3 lanes. Mark using the very bottom lane. Right, hustling the car around. He's coming up on Ward Burton up there. And you're talking about the sentimental favorite. Ward Burton led this race last year and ran out of gas right at the end. And he was in tears after the race. I believe half the fans were too. And here he is fixing to go a lap down. The 27 car almost won the race last year, and he's just not quite as quick this year.
Neil, that steering wheel looked loose in that car, huh?
The steering column in these cars, they don't put a big steel tube up through there. It has to be a collapsible type column to where you can, if you have an impact, you can bend it out of the way or collapse it in. So when you see that driver hold, watch Mark hold, watch the center of the hub where the horn area is on a regular wheel. Look at it bounce around. It's not flimsy. It's made like that. So if you have impact, when the driver hangs on the wheel, he can virtually shove the wheel, if he has to, up through the dashboard or whatever. It's made of a small diameter shaft so you can shove it out of your way. Looks like it's breaking off right there, but it's tied on plenty good. It's just not quite as rigid as it would be in a passenger car.
Did you ever wish you had a horn in there, Neil?
You have. It's out front. It's that thing called a bumper. Sometimes they're chrome and sometimes they're painted.
81 laps are complete as you watch Mark Martin in front. Jeff Gordon lies in second. There's Joe Nemechek lying 7th on the field.
Have you ever noticed how people don't pay attention to horns sometimes when you blow them?
Yeah.
You blow them with that one out front and they listen.
Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, folks, we're down here standing next to Martha Nemechek, mom of Joe Nemechek. And let me tell you guys, she's about ready to come right out of her skin. Joe just took over 7th place or so from Darrell Waltrip, and he looks good to gain some points. He's now 2nd in the Winston Cup Championship. She's down here with a camera. She takes a picture when he goes by Darrell. She takes a picture when he goes by everybody. Keeps lap times. Martha Nemechek certainly shows that this is a family sport. She's about ready to lose it down here.
He's having a good run right now. Last year he didn't have so much fun in this race.
No.
The car up.
But you know, the way the circumstances have failed, do you want to win the war or do you want to win the battle? You know, he's right now in a position to really capitalize on the other guys having a problem. That car will run all day. He'll gain a lot of points, but he feels himself like, hey, the car can get up front, maybe win the race. You got to balance it out. How hard do you run?
Side by side, 8th place. There's Darrell Waltrip up on the outside and Kenny Wallace in the 36 down low.
Yeah, and Kenny Wallace was another one of these guys that had to run the consolation race yesterday even to get into this field. So he's made big strides on his car and really improved on it since he qualified.
The Dirt Devil machine of Kenny Wallace earlier in the season. He was a contender right up in the heart of the point battle. Now he's back in 6th. Good scramble here between these two. Whoop.
Yeah, and they're racing side by side, and they're going to get that opportunity next year because they announced yesterday that the 36 car, Kenny Wallace, would have Dirt Devil on a Winston Cup car. They uncovered that car yesterday, so these two guys will have a lot of opportunities to race together.
You know, if the race ended this moment, Neil, Joe Nemechek would lead Todd Bodine by 89 points. What a turnaround this Charlotte track so often is when we get to the autumn.
Especially when we see a big lead for these guys is 10 points. It seems like every race they're just 5 or 6 or 7 points separating the leaders. That'd be a tremendous lead now.
Well, there you see the first place man, Mark Martin, in number 60. And let's check the interval back to second place. That would be Jeff Gordon, as we have Fords running in first and second with 85 laps now complete. There is Jeff Gordon out of Pittsburgh, Indiana, in California, the 21-year-old, maintaining that second position. Going back in third spot will give you a sense of just where that number 14 of Terry Labonte lies in all of this. Here's Texas Terry running in third, his white car, and he's got some making up to do in number 14. We're getting up toward halftime. Terry Labonte maintaining the third position. Following him is Ken Schrader. Schrader has found himself fourth position, and he started in fourth. We'll get back to it in a minute. That battle up here is just so good between Waltrip and Kenny Wallace for eighth position, lap after lap. Kenny Wallace showing his style.
The key right here, let's watch off the corner. The 36 car slipped a while ago. When you're down on the inside under somebody like Waltrip, when the 36 car is blowing, your car wants to get loose as you come off the corner, and that happened a while ago. It looked like he got off the corner a little bit better that time.
Kenny Wallace, runner-up to Bobby Labonte in the national championship battle just a year ago. Now Waltrip on the high side gets about a 3-car length advantage. So move Waltrip into eighth. Set Kenny Wallace in ninth. Lead Bill Parson in 10th. And Bobby Hillen in that number 28 car. Bobby Hillen taking over in the 28. Remember, he did it at Talladega when Davey Allison was hurt. Gave it such a fine ride. They've given him that assignment again today with the V6. And Bobby Hillen's brought it to 11. Bobby Labonte is 12. Let's pick up some more of these cars through the field here. Now, there's the number 51. And as we check back as to his position in the field, that's Mike McLaughlin's car, correct? McLaughlin out there, where would he be resting in the group? I have him about 26 on the field.
There's the 15 car trying to get a lap on him. Ken Schrader got caught in a little bit of traffic. He was right up there. He's falling back a little bit because traffic's holding him up.
Remember that Schrader is in fourth, trying to put a lap on that 51 car. And then the 30 car, that's Michael Waltrip, who is in fifth position. Fourth and fifth, nose to tail down here at turn 3. A little further back there, you see the 75. And Butch isn't having as much fun as he wanted to have today. He is well back. Butch Miller, Michigan driver. Butch Miller's number 75 is...
He's doing 28th right now.
28th. And here's Ward Burton's number 27.
Yeah, you know, Ward almost won the race, and he's back in 27th place right now. He's having a terrible day of it to go from almost winning it last year to be this far back. And look at here. Here comes old Harry Gant, just like always, just trucking along.
In sixth.
In sixth. And headed to the front.
Started 22nd. That's Robert Presley right behind him. Remember that Robert's several laps down. Give him 32nd position overall on the field. He was on pit road. Had to do some additional work. Had the hood up a long time. 91 laps are now complete on the entire field. So his chance for a 6th win. And there is Ricky Craven up in Maine and New Hampshire. Concord, New Hampshire more recently.
Won a lot of races up in that area. Came down here in the Busch Series. Been real successful with it. A lot of tracks we've been to this year, he's been real strong and had a little bit of trouble, but he's just not quite up to the pace he's been running all year long.
Looks a lot like Pete Hamilton. Had a couple of Grand National North victories. Ran some on the American Canadian Tour. Was very strong there. There you see the 87. Remember that Nemechek is being shown in 7th position. He started as a provisional, that Nemechek. 31st position. He's in 7th. Here's Waltrip. That's 8th. Darrell Waltrip has 8th position from 26. And we'll be back to conclude the first half of this race after we pause for these messages. Coming to you live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
Aiden.
Well, join Hubie Brown, Ron Thulin for an exhibition NBA game to benefit the victims of Hurricane Andrew. Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls take on the Miami Heat. That's Monday, October the 19th at 7 p.m. on TNT.
This guy's not taking any heat right here. He's cruising. I tell you, we're right where we are. We're right out front. This is the way it feels to lead one of these races here.
With Mark Martin, we're riding in first place, and we're getting down to the end of the first half of this All-Pro Auto Parts 300. 15-minute halftime coming up. There's your lead car. You're just riding with Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford. It has the advantage over Jeff Gordon in second, Terry Labonte third, Ken Schrader fourth, Michael Waltrip in fifth, Harry Gant in sixth. Running in the seventh position, Joe Nemechek, Darrell Waltrip eighth, Kenny Wallace is ninth, Bill Parsons 10th, and Bobby Labonte is in 11th spot. Down for the finish on the first half of this race. They'll be throwing a caution here in just a moment. Official intermission at 1:02. Coming up on 100 laps this time by. Cross flags in the hand of the chief starter for Mark Martin and for Jeff Gordon. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, we're in the pit communication center with Todd Bodine, the driver of the Hungry Jack automobile. Todd, sorry you're out of it. What happened with you and Dale Jarrett?
Well, I don't know exactly what happened to Dale. He slowed up a little bit getting in the corner, and I run in there too hard. You know, what I've been running normally, and just running the back of him. I don't know. I think he might have got a little loose or something and just checked up, and I hit him.
Tough break for you indeed. Now, the point battle, you were ahead by 5 coming into today. This is going to really put you back.
Yeah, this is a tough situation. Come out of here, I believe we're the last car to finish, first car out, so the least amount of points you can get, and that's not what we wanted to do.
Well, right now he's credited with 37th position today, Rick, after working on the Hungry Jack car for 36 minutes. The Todd Bodine crew had given up all hopes today, so it could be as much as an 89-point swing, maybe more. We'll have to see when the race is decided. While you're riding with Mark Martin as he breathes that horse for just a moment, gets ready to bring it on pit road. We're trying to get a word with him. And as interesting a story is Nemechek, who just is flying. Doesn't look like he's in a point battle. He wants to win this race. He's up to 7th position from that provisional start of 31st in his Chevrolet. So the field getting slowed down. They'll hold him. They'll bring him on pit road, make some adjustments, then we'll come out for the second half. And Hut Strickland dove in as they started down through. He cut across the quarter-mile track and onto pit road. What do you think that was about for your buddy from Calera?
I don't know. You know, the rest of the field went on around the racetrack, and I see a NASCAR official talking to him right there. You see the guy in white shirt with the headset on. He's possibly going to make him go on and make that other portion of that lap. He's the only car that did it. He did that. He went across the start-finish line. You see the official tell him to hold up. Hey, they might make him run one more lap like the rest of the guys.
Don't know what that was all about. Yeah, they're going to send him back around. I think it's going to cost him a lot of positions. That car was running, let's see, where was Hut Strickland at that time? They tried to get some heat for it, trying to get it refired. He was back in 21st when all that took place.
Yeah, you know, it's not a real hot day. We saw him putting a fan on that thing and the grill knocked out.
We'll be back to talk with some of these champions in this All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway at halftime after these messages. Halftime here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's the lead car, number 60, Mark Martin, on pit road. Let's take a look at the Goodyear mid-race report. After we have gone just past the halfway mark, we've had 5 lead changes among 4 leaders. The speed, not that smart at 124 miles per hour because there have been 5 cautions thus far, a total of 20 of those 102 laps under yellow, and 9 cars from the 42-car starting field have retired. Out of the race, those include Dale Earnhardt, Mike Wallace is out, Ernie Irvan was out early, Rick Mast had to drop out, Robert Hoffman, Todd Bodine in that wreck with Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Bound was involved in that. It was a 3-car incident, and Jeff Burton more recently has come out of the race. He has gone to the field hospital, the only driver injured a potential ankle injury, as he was favoring his right ankle after he clambered out of car number 8.
Ken, it seems like right here at Charlotte, everything, this is the hub of racing, and this week they had the Driver of the Quarter Century Award, and you were the MC. You got to tell us a little bit about what went on with that deal.
I will, and just before we get to that, take a look at those lap leaders, and the story there was just how well Gordon had run and how well Martin had run early on in this race. Now let's talk a little bit about what happened back here on Tuesday night. There's that lap leader board, and notice that Martin came up put on a really stout show. He came back later and knocked off some more. He is going to be the factor, as we said at the very beginning of the broadcast. The number 60 is going to be the guy to watch.
If it'll just run all day, that's the trick to it.
And run all day. So let's go back to Tuesday night here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was a big night, a very big night for some of the very best in the sports game. I was fortunate to be asked to be a part of this. The driver of the quarter century was selected. And the big recipient really was the National Head Injury Foundation. Some 400 were there to see the real stars, the biggest stars, all on one stage at one time. It was a magnificent moment. And when it came down, it really came down to two drivers. And this guy is always one of them.
Moved me up where I finished, but hell, ninth was better than 10th. Take it any way you can get it at our age, but all joking aside, like Chris come over and he said, AJ, everybody's sitting with pretty girls but you're sitting there with Eddie Thrapp. I said, hell, I ain't signed my contract yet. Who do you expect me to be sitting with? But
it was a great night. It was a fun night, but it was a very special night for Mario Andretti of Nazareth, Pennsylvania, selected by his peers and the press as the driver of the quarter century. Mario Andretti, who's won in everything there is to win in.
It's just unbelievable. I don't think that in my trophy case I could ever have a trophy that will mean so much.
Mario Andretti, 1967, the Daytona 500, 69 Indy, 78 World Championship, 4-time national champion, midget sprints. I tell you, it's such a contest between him and Foyt when you get to that. When you get down to the driver of the century, that's where I want to be around. Guys like Ted Horn and Fireball, all that crowd. It's pretty special.
I'd hate to have to do the voting to pick the guy, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Here's Dick Berggren standing by with a guy who has been flying out here this afternoon at Charlotte.
Well, he has indeed, Ken, but he'd like to go even faster than he's gone this afternoon. You have been pushing all day. They don't let you do much to the cars. Will they let you do enough so you can solve your problem and catch Mark?
Oh, I think so. We can do actually quite a bit. We found out this morning in the driver's meeting that we couldn't raise or lower a panel bar like we did the last time we were here at this pit stop or this intermission. So that's kind of hurting us a little bit, but, you know, we're real close. It looks like Mark, he's going to last most of the race this time. So, you know, we had a battle like this the last time, and he fell out, and it was unfortunate. It looks like this time we're gonna really find out who's going to be tough at the end.
Well, they've changed the rubber in the right rear of this car. They've beat on the body to try to make it work a little bit better. The whole game plan here is to get this car so it's not as tight as it was, so when he turns left, the car will turn left.
Ray Evernham, who had left this team earlier, has come back specifically for this race. He's going to be with Jeff Gordon, part of the Hendrick stable next year, and they are trying everything they can to put him back in victory lane here today. Ford, of course, in this fall race has never been victorious. He yanked one home here in May. But the big story is what happens here. Let's go to Randy Pember.
Well, we're standing by with Mark Martin. He's doing a little conversation with his crew. Mark, you guys didn't do a whole lot during that 15-minute break. A little round of wedge, that's it. She seems like dialed in pretty good.
Yeah, we didn't need to do much. Just got to hope for some good luck here. Winn-Dixie car is great. It's got a great little V6 engine in it. The Goodyear tires are working great today. You'll run all day, run hard all day.
What about the clutch, Mark? Any problem?
No sweat, man.
Yeah. Mark Martin gave Ford his first Grand National win in the modern period. It started back in 1982. Back in 1987, when he won at Dover. Now, here are the standings after we complete the first portion of the race, just past the halfway mark. A lot of these cars, as we take a look at these Napa standings at the midway point, they've got a lot of them jacked up, and they've got all four wheels off the ground, trying to breathe the springs a little here, get a little rest.
Yeah, they're letting the driver rest a little bit. I'm wondering about Joe Nemechek's mother. She must be reloading her camera on this break, because she says she's taking a picture every time her son passes somebody. He's been passing plenty of them.
Best time to get pictures is right now. He's sitting still. All he is a blur when he's out there on the racetrack.
I tell you, we've seen her at a lot of races. She really gets enthused about it, and that's nice to have the whole family involved with racing like that.
And speaking of Joe Nemechek, funny you brought up his name. Here's Dick Berggren.
Here's a record that probably nobody would like to have, Ken Squire. Today marks the 4th time in a row Joe Nemechek has started 31st, but this thing's running well.
Yes, it's a new car. We ran it at Darlington, and we qualified terrible there. We come here, we changed a lot of stuff on it, and we qualified bad here. But the car, it takes about 3-4 laps for it to get going, and once it gets going, it just keeps getting faster and faster and faster, stays the same. And you know, the Texas Pete Grease Lightning Chevrolet is running real good today. The crew, I mean, we've been struggling since we got here to get the car right. And yesterday, last practice, the car was right. Today, we haven't touched it, haven't turned a bolt on it. Just keep putting tires and gas in it. And I think we have a car that's capable of winning the race, but you got the two Fords up in the front that are fast. And hopefully we're going to get this Chevrolet up there to the front.
You must be thinking points. Are you squirming around in that seat as much as your mother is here on pit wall?
No, that's very unfortunate for Todd. I got involved in something like that the last time we were here, and we're just going to keep going forward, and the more positions we can pick up, the better off we're going to be.
They didn't change the car. They're ready to go.
So, here he is, Joe Nemechek, Lakeland, Florida, who one time started out in a little Mazda driving sports cars. You know, well, maybe I'd like to try a little stock car. Try it, he did. He's found himself a home. Joe Nemechek and the rest of the gang will be ready for the second half of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 in just a moment.
All quiet at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but only a matter of moments until they refire about 40 Busch Grand National Motors here. We pick up for the second half of today's All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Welcome back on WTBS. Good to have you with us today. Rick Benjamin here in the Stanley Pit Communications Center, welcoming Alan Kulwicki, who's the pole sitter for the Mellow Yellow 500 tomorrow here on TBS. Great run Wednesday night.
Thank you very much.
How did it all come about for you? Ran nearly 180 miles an hour here under the lights.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a great lap. I really almost never thought we'd run that fast, at least not here at Charlotte with a stock car this year, but we hit it really right. The car just handled great. The engine ran good, and I think that's 3 of the last 4 races we've put the Hooters Ford Thunderbird on the pole.
It's super tough in the second half of the season. We're going to see now the rest of the starting lineup. You're up front with Kenny Schrader. Do you look for a tough race from him tomorrow?
Oh, I think, you know, there's 20 guys that could win this race, and Kenny's certainly one of them. Behind that, there's Ernie Irvin and Mark Martin. They both qualified real well, and going to be a very competitive race.
Now, you're in the point chase. You're in the top 5 here coming down to the wire. You're not as up front as Bill Elliott and Davey Allison are, but do you think you have a chance?
Well, we still have a chance. Mathematically, we do, and, you know, realistically, Bill's probably got to have one more misfortune for us to catch him, but there's 4 races left, and I think he's lost over 100 points in the last couple of races, so certainly a lot of things could happen in the 4 remaining races. We're not giving up yet. We're going to do our best to win a race or 2 the remainder of this year and finish off on a good note.
Certainly hope you'll do that. Dale Earnhardt will start in row 6 tomorrow. He won here in the spring. Do you expect a good run on him tomorrow?
You can never count him out. You never know. He doesn't qualify that great a lot of times, but you can't count him out. He certainly could come back and win tomorrow.
This has really been a Ford season. Davey, Bill, yourself in the top 5 in points. You've won the manufacturer's title. What does that mean to a race team?
Well, you know, it feels good that we could help Ford win their first manufacturer's title in years, and they've got their program pretty well together. Their cylinder heads are pretty good, and that's helped us out a lot. Overall, their whole motorsports program is going well, and we're really pleased to be a part of it.
Lots of folks have been commenting on the Davey and Bill battle for the title. Neither of them seems to want to win it. What does it take, do you think, now to win a Winston Cup title?
Well, I mean, you've got to be consistent. That's the biggest thing, and you know, Bill's faltered a little bit, but Davey and I haven't been real great the last couple of races either. We've been a little bit better, but if I was really on top of my game, I could have been right in there. But hopefully they'll start racing each other. Something will happen, and they'll look over their shoulder, and we'll be there.
You'll be right in tune with that. We wish you the best tomorrow. Alan Kulwicki, the pole sitter for tomorrow's Mellow Yellow 500 here on TBS. Thanks, Alan. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And indeed, one of the guys that gave Ford that championship. First time since, what, 69? Leroy and Cale and all that crowd was storming around.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's an accomplishment, too, with Alan owning his own race cars. I remember when he ran the ASA circuit, he moved down here and he got his own race cars. For a guy to be able to have a race team start from scratch and be in contention for the championship and win as much as Alan done, that's quite an accomplishment.
You talk about swings and points. If the race were to stop right now, Joe Nemechek has the lead in the Grand National points by 89 over Todd Bodine. 3 races left to be contested this year. Of course, they're headed off to Rockingham for a great battle there. Martinsville is coming up, and then, of course, they'll end the whole thing when they get to Hickory, North Carolina, November the 8th.
The luck that Todd Bodine had here was really bad. We see the numbers there. When you fall out at Charlotte in a 40-something car field, that's what hurts. He said he was 37th or 38th, whatever it is today. You go to some tracks, they don't start with 30 cars. The worst place it could have happened was right here at Charlotte, and it bit him.
We've just been told that Morgan Shepherd is being penalized a lap for changing shock absorbers in the intermission. He was running 21st. He's not been a real factor today in his car, so that's the latest on Morgan Shepherd. As we get ready to restart, and we're just a few seconds away, 4, 3, 2, 1, detonate. We're ready to crank him out one more time. Mark Martin's number 60. Here you are on board the car that's leading the event. Jeff Gordon, second. Terry Labonte, third. Ken Schrader, fourth. Michael Waltrip, fifth. Harry Gant in sixth. Joe Nemechek, seventh. Darrell Waltrip, eighth, followed by Kenny Wallace, and 10th is Phil Parsons.
We see him having to push his car. He said he didn't have a clutch. And so what Mark's going to have to do, he's got the engine running, warmed it up. He'll probably turn the motor. He just turned the engine back off. He'll put it in gear, let him push, and you'll see him reach over and hit the switch. He'll hit the switch as they're pushing, and he'll crank it at the same time. So he said no problem. He's trying to take light. He does have a problem, but he can live with it.
He's back on about 5 manpower right now, trying to get this thing fired up.
Got a NASCAR official helping there. It looks like it's hung in 2 different gears. That's exactly what it did. They were going to have to push the car off. When you see one rocking like that and it won't move, he can't put the clutch in, and it's probably hung in 2 different gears.
Stuck
it wouldn't
between.
move. Yep, they'll have to jack it up, reach up under the car, and put it back in. They'll probably just stick it in 4th gear.
Well, there you see the former national champion, Chuck Bown, wheeling around and coming out. He's running a lap down, and everybody going by.
The question here now, Ken, you know, he was leading on this thing, and these caution laps did not count here. The question is, can he lose a lap sitting on pit road?
Exactly. That's the issue, and we need to find that out on pit road.
Just overheard the official. He said, we'll get a record, give it a push. So it must not be hung in 2 gears. It must just be so difficult they can't push it off. They're going to get a record, give him a push, it said.
Well, let's go down to the experts who were in the driver's meeting this morning, see if we can get a word as to what might happen to Martin. If they get him fired up and put him back out there. Here's Dick Berger.
Well, unfortunately, that's one of the subjects they did not cover in the driver's meeting this morning. One of the things, he's off finally. Mark Martin has had such a tough time here. Recall in the spring, he led most of this event and got about to lap 92, and the engine wound up in a whole bunch of pieces. So finishing has been his tough deal here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, he's not wasting any time finding his way back to the front of the field.
Let me tell you, this is going to be a tricky deal. He's going to start from the very front of the field.
But Fred has told me.
And when you feed that thing into gear, you've got to get the engine RPM and the drivetrain at the same speed. He's going to be on the start of this race, and if you miss it, you almost got to restart over again. So, you know, he's going to have to make sure he gets that thing in gear on the start. It's not as easy as Mark says. He's just real good at it.
He was trying to deflect some of the problem for the moment. Everything's fine. You saw how fine it was as they tried to crank it up and bring it out.
Yeah, but let me tell you, there's a lot of drivers around that would really let that bother, that they would say, man, my car won't do this, it won't do that. But Mark is positive-minded enough and looks far enough ahead. He said, let's get that thing behind us when we still win the race.
Is that part of physical attitude, mental attitude, all that stuff? I mean, he is so into bodybuilding these days and getting his mind focused to overcome any problem. He's built about like Alan Kowicki. He has worked out so much. He's a tough-looking guy these days, and his thinking follows in that same direction.
Yeah, but I think before, when he first came in here, he couldn't go 500 miles. He'd get tired. I think he's got his physical side so well prepared now that he puts that aside and mentally can concentrate exactly what he wants to do in that race car.
Tell you what, gentlemen, the bottom line is why everybody pushed that car off. Speaking of Mark Martin's crew, if a wrecker came up and pushed it, they would have had to go to the rear of the field. So They did everything they possibly could to get that car started, and they started it in 3rd gear.
So there you got it. Thank you, Randy. There are the leaders getting sorted out on a restart. Lap cars pulling up on the outside. Field getting ready for a start. Now they are already showing 103 complete. These are counting laps as we get ready to go once again with Mark Martin out in front, leading in 1st place. Been a while since he's had a victory. 2nd is Jeff Gordon. Ford's 1st and 2nd. And in 3rd, it's Terry Labonte in that Oldsmobile. 4th is Ken Schrader in the Chevrolet. And 5th is Michael Waltrip, Pontiac.
Here we are inside the car, Ken. We're going to see if he does have a problem. With this shot here, we'll get a good opportunity to see him shift going up through the gears. Here are restarting. He was in 2nd. He just put it up into 3rd gear. There he goes. He's going to pull it back from 3rd to 4th. Winding that little motor up down through there. put it in fourth gear. He made the shift without a problem.
He's clear. He is away. Chuck Bound up on the outside trying to get a lap back in car number 63, running 20. When they come by, they're complete 105 this time. $392,000 at stake. Jeff Gordon's number 1 is in second place. The lap car of Presley, number 59, down at least 3, maybe 4.
Presley's down several laps, but it looked like they have improved on it. Or whatever gave them trouble earlier, they must have corrected a good bit of that problem.
Martin's last win, 1990. Myrtle Beach took the lead on the very final lap when Tommy Ellis ran out of luck, ran out of gas. With Hut Strickland in traffic, running in 21st.
Instead of trying to get down low, he's ran up on a car, the 72 car of Leslie, the red car. You see him move outside.
And Powell right in front of him.
Yeah, he's pinned in right there. So he's trying to get around Powell on the outside now.
th spot he's in. 27th. Correction. 27th. He's got some running to do. Back up front. Here you see number 60, the Winn-Dixie car of Mark Martin with the advantage. Jeff Gordon lies second. He's drafting off the back of the former Grand National champion Chuck Bound.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon's trying to get around Chuck Bound now. He's going to get back up in the second place there. He's in second, but he needs to clear this lap car. See if he can make a run on Martin. Jeff made a change on his car to try to make it better. We saw Mark Martin said they didn't change anything. They were pleased with. Here's Jeff Gordon getting under Chuck Bound right now. So they can give him a clean shot at the leader.
1990 Grand National champion eases over. Not been a good year for Chuck Bound. Still in there running strong, but not getting those wins like he did a year or two back. 18 cars to lead lap on board.
Well, gentlemen, if you keep watching the temperature gauge in Hut Strickland's car from the in-car camera, you'll notice that it's going to go up here from time to time. That's because right before the halftime break, Hut radioed in and said the temperature's going way up in the car. They did have a little damage. They put about 2 rolls of duct tape on the front of the automobile. There's just one small hole for air to come in to keep that engine cool. So we'll keep an eye on Hut Strickland and see if that car overheats.
Nothing overheating up in front. Mark Martin running smooth and fast. Small transmission problem, and here's Bobby Hillen bringing the 28 on pit road. He's running at 19th spot as it came in.
Raise the hood on the car. When you see him jump over without the tires, some kind of problem on the motor, and they're going in and see if they can correct it.
Getting a lap for you here, or rather getting a pit stop for you, which let's see what they're going to do. They're going to go down a lap right now. They are down a lap. He's away in 16-1 after trying to check out what the problem was.
Usually when you have probably got a miss in the car and you raise the hood just to see if there's a plug wire, something real obvious that can be corrected. It's not something just laying there that you can correct. You just send them on out to ride the race out. So they either found the plug wire, put it on, or they just gave up on it real quick, let it go.
See that number 60? See how well it's running? See how luck goes at Charlotte? He's just radioed into his crew. Thinks his battery is going bad.
Well, let me tell you, a while ago when they tried to crank it, I was concerned. He tried to crank it with it in gear. You reach over and hit the starter button and let it pull itself off. And it wasn't capable of doing it. You can actually crank one of these cars with it in gear. Just hit the starter and it'll pull itself off and fire off. And he must have been a little weak on fire. And he can see it with the amp gauge just not coming back for him. The biggest thing that hurts in these motors is they have such high energy ignition systems in them. And when the ignition, the battery gets low, it doesn't fire right, the motor starts detonating a little bit or fouling plugs out, so he can feel it in the engine if he's starting to lose a little bit of electrical power.
And guess who's catching up? Number 1, Gordon is right there, the pole sitter. Eases up on Mark Martin.
Did you sense it in Jeff Gordon's voice a while ago when he talked to him? He said, Mark sure has run a long time today. Everybody knows that Mark's car's been real fast and they question the reliability. And Jeff Gordon was even saying, hey, here's a big spin coming off the 4th turn. Right behind this, we've got cars coming through.
That's Shauna Robinson going all the way around, does a 360. There is caution on the track. Tommy Houston made an evasive move down through the grass, kept it straight.
Butch Miller went down pit road at about 140. He broke the speed limit, but he couldn't help it.
He did the right thing. He would have collected her for sure. Shauna Robinson coming out of turn 4 got it loose and spun it around. So Mark Martin crossing the line here.
Mark Martin.
Everybody stepped off the throttle real quick with trouble up here in 4. You don't want to take any chances until you need to out here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and particularly when there's any note of incidents in turn 4. Let's take a look at what happened to number 25, Shauna Robinson.
We see right here she's already turned around backwards coming off the 4th turn. And once here she's going to back up. Watch the 75 car right in the middle of smoke. He's going to turn down pit road. The blue and white car turns down pit road. Those 2 cars were the inside. He goes, 6 goes right up through the grass. Shauna, excuse me, Shauna turns around, gets the car corrected, didn't get back out in traffic. Did a good job right there. There she is spinning all the way off the 4th turn. Lucky he didn't get up in the middle of that traffic.
Back with more from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in a moment. .116 laps are now complete. Of 200 to be run in the 300-mile race, 200-lap event here today. Mark Martin is first, Gordon second, Schrader third, Michael Waltrip fourth, followed by Terry Labonte, Darrell Waltrip, Phil Parsons back in 7th, and Harry Gant in 9th, Joe Nemechek in 10th, Bobby Labonte, 11th, Kenny Wallace, in 12th is Jimmy Spencer, 13th, Tracy Leslie, and 14th is Resendez. 15th spot will be Tom Peck as we get ready for a restart. Here's Ramsey Pemberton.
Well, we're down here in the 60 pit of Mark Martin, and they're really in a big dilemma as to whether or not to change the battery. Mark's losing power in the Winn-Dixie Ford, but the problem is it takes a lot more time to change the batteries in this car for some reason than it would a Winston Cup car. They desperately want to change it, but they don't want to go a lap down, and Mark does not have a voltage meter in the car, so they don't know exactly if they're losing power, but Mark said it certainly feels funny.
Well, I tell you, they've got the batteries in those things right in front of the left rear tire. And in a Winston Cup car, as many races they run, they try to get it where it's accessible. In this Busch car, they might not have as easy an access to get the battery out of the car, so he's probably just going to ride it out.
17 cars in the lead lap. Chuck Bound, 1 lap down, pulls up on the outside, the 18th position, hoping to get a clean shot to get his lap back here. At 118, they are into 117 now. They'll get that indicator to send them on their way. If you're just joining us, we've had 6 caution periods. A major crash in the first half of the race has entirely inverted the point standing battle. Todd Bodine, who came in here leading by 5, if the race were to finish now, trailed by about 89 points, crashed hard in turn 2 with Dale Jarrett. Both escaped unscathed. Not the case with Jeff Burton, who crashed in turn 2 and walked away from the car, but very gingerly. Looked like he'd hurt his right ankle. We took him over to Field Hospital. We've not had an update on that, but he did clamber out of the car. Well, here's Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie number 60. Fords are running 1 and 2. Chevy out there in 3rd. Oldsmobile 4th. Chevy in 5th. Getting set for a start. First Pontiac is back in 6th with Kenny Wallace now. Correction in 7th. And as they come down, the number 60 can't get it cranked. Everybody getting around him.
Barely. He almost got hit.
Wild start.
Well, that's what you're concerned about, having a problem. You know, it must have been some, Mark was feeling something. He said it just didn't feel right. And he was exactly right. I don't know what the problem, but he couldn't get it going.
Batesville, Arkansas. We want to look at that one again. Let me tell you, what a moment. Coming down out of turn number 4, trying to get it worked up. And he almost got center punched and drop kicked by the entire field. And they drove well and got around it. Jeff Gordon stays first. Normal speed. Here's what it looked like, Neil.
We know Mark sitting in 2nd gear. That's the way he restarted every race. He's got in 2nd. They throw the flag. and everybody takes off, and Mark doesn't go. I don't think it was the clutch so much as he just couldn't get the car to speed. But once these cars split around him, the yellow car right there is the one that came so close right there. It almost clipped him as it came by.
Team Fedua, that guy that almost caught him.
We're told, gentlemen, that the problem in the Mark Martin car is that his transmission let go when he tried to come up through the gears. Not an electrical problem. We'll see what happens on pit road.
Boy, that's a shame. You know, he's having to work it without a clutch, and he kind of jerked it in gear, and I guess the thing went out on him. And boy, as good as that car's running, Mark's going to be disheartened.
On to pit road. 28 Bobby Hiller is just pulling back out. He's going a lap down. Here's the number 60, easing on in. Meanwhile, on the speedway, battle for third, Terry Labonte, number 14, Waltrip 17. Nemechek getting back into this thing. Up in the second is Schrader. The 63 sliding back to the field again, Chuck Bow. Darrell Waltrip is fourth, Labonte is third, Schrader is second, and the leader is Gordon. Joe Nemechek now to fifth. With the leader, Jeff Gordon, coming around to complete lap 122.
Something Gordon's got to be concerned with now. Schrader will come into the shot right here. Schrader is gaining on Jeff Gordon, and earlier in the race, Schrader was able to get right behind Jeff Gordon, and Jeff said it made his car loose, and he kind of let Schrader go on. So now he's going to have to continue with Schrader up there, start messing with him and trying to get his car loosened up. Schrader's going to see if he can work on him, put some pressure on the one car and be able to pass him.
Gordon first, Chevy in second spot. There you see it, the 15, Oldsmobile in third. Jeff Gordon won here in May. What are his chances today of sweeping the Charlotte Busch Grand National 1992 events?
There's a lot more things that involve winning a race, and it's not just going fast. It's being lucky, having good pit stops, and being consistent all day long. But right now, the car feels great. The motor's running good. Everything's going our way so far.
Let's get to Randy Pembert.
Mark Martin's sticking something back in the car. Mark, man, you just can't buy a break in.
Nah, it ain't good, though. We're going to win a race with this Winn-Dixie car before it's over with. Thought it was going to be today, maybe, but I don't know. That halfway point is just unbelievable. I've lost an engine 3 times. In 3 races I had shots to win. And now this happened. I don't know. It's just something about coming in, stopping. The old car just don't want to go again. I don't know what it is.
We can put this day aside. Tomorrow you're sitting pretty with the Valvoline Ford. You got a good shot at the Mill 500 on Sunday.
I don't know if we'll win or not, but we'll be just about as fast. That don't guarantee any kind of result.
Good luck tomorrow, Mark.
Thanks. We got a great team and 2 good teams here. We're just going to go get them.
I tell you what, that's a good feeling to climb out of one that's been leading all day and knowing tomorrow you can climb in another one. It's got just as good a chance to win on Sunday's race. So you tell he's disheartened, but he's livened right back up when he got to thinking about tomorrow.
About a second between first and second. Here comes Jimmy Spencer in 7th spot, going under Joe Nemechek. Nemechek falling to 6th. Labonte has come up to 5th. Now Spencer takes over in 6th. Nemechek back to 7th. Kenny Wallace checks out at 8th. But here comes Spencer. He's got a car in the wall in turn 4. John Robinson does it again. Lost it up there on the bumps, and car number 99, Ricky Craven, taking evasive action, came down pit road at about 140 miles an hour. A little over that 55-mile limit, but again, the right thing to do, or he'd have been right through the side of car number 25.
Shauna, she turned down pit road. She's got a flat right where she's going on back in the garage area.
Car number 25 under its own power back in the garage area after a second spin here today. This too in turn number 4.
It's 2 spins virtually in the same place. And boy, she's lucky both times. This time I saw her when she looped the car. Luckily enough, it stayed on the bottom again. See if we can get a shot of here. She's already broken loose. Car's headed out to the outside wall. Backs right up against the wall, but watch the traffic coming by. Then she comes back across the track, missed the traffic on that side. Then she turns the car back left and keeps it. Before she did the same thing where it went back out. See that car go by? She'd let it get away from her up at the top of that track. She'd get hit again. When she lost it, she held it to the inside.
Running 25th. when it got loose up here in turn number 4 and brought out the 7th caution of the day. As far a total of 26 laps under caution. 10 cars have retired from the original 42 that started. For the moment, Jeff Gordon in the Baby Ruth car stays in the lead. And he's coming on pit road now. Jeff Gordon has led something like 1,000 laps this year. Here he is on pit road. Right behind him comes Schrader, staying out on the track. Chuck Bound hoping to get the shot at getting that lap back. And Hunt Strickland stays out. Jimmy Spencer's there. Parsons.
We saw Labonte come in, didn't do anything but fill it up with fuel. Here's Labonte. Look like he's going the same route. Just stick a little bit of gas in it, get back on the racetrack, not even change the tires.
Bobby Labonte back underway. Had that great year in 1991.
They're pretty close to the point they can where they might be able to go the rest of the way there. That's what they're looking at, trying to
128
get
of 200 laps complete on this 1.5 mile track.
You see just about everybody down pit road. You see a couple of them put tires on, but most of the guys just took on fuel. You see Kenny Wallace, our first car, we see the tires they just took off his car, so he did put tires on his.
So Bound hoping again to get back up on that front row and get a run at these guys. We'll start on the outside of that lead row. We come down for a restart in just a moment. Join Gary Bender and Pat Hayden for Sunday night NFL on TNT as the Rams travel to the Superdome to take on their divisional rivals, the Saints. Hard-hitting action starts at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night on TNT. On TBS tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll be with you for the 500-mile Winston Cup race. Here are the standings after 130 of 200 laps are complete. That's 105 miles to go. No problem on fuel. They can hit it from here with Jimmy Spencer leading, Phil Parsons in second, Gant in third, Labonte, Bobby Labonte, Dave Resendez, and that number 79 out of Massachusetts up there in fifth, getting ready for a go. And where are those guys that were up in front? Well, Jeff Gordon, he's a little further back. He'll be in the 7th position, they say, in the start. Waltrip and also Schrader is well back in this field. They got him listed 15th as we get ready for a go. Joe Nemechek is now in 12th. Michael Waltrip is in 9th. Kenny Wallace is in 13th position out there in the field. Showing 16 cars in the lead lap. We'll take you through it just a bit as they come down. Spencer first, Parsons second, Gant, Labonte, Bobby, Terry first, then Bobby. Dave Resendez 6th, Gordon 7th, Waltrip 8th, Michael Waltrip 9th. Two of the brothers running a combo out here. In 10th, Tom Peck. 11th, Tracy Leslie. Tom Peck does a good job. He doesn't get enough of the ball. Check in 12th, Wallace in 13th as they break away. There's Jimmy Spencer bearing down, and on the outside.
Look at Gant. Look at Gant down the inside. There he is.
Here's Bound trying to find some way to get around. He's going to. He stays out there. 63 hanging it up on the outside in turn 4, trying to get through.
On that start, I thought Gant was able to take the lead. He got down the inside and got caught with Chuck Bound just a little bit, but Gant's really putting the heat on Spencer right now. Spencer's the kind of guy, if you get him out front, it's hard to take the lead away from him.
First and second down the back straightaway. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, says having Winston Cup drivers in today's field makes for a better race.
I enjoy racing against the Winston Cup drivers because they're going to push you to the limit no matter what. Whether you're leading a race or you're running 10th and you're racing them for 9th. It's that hard. And, you know, I think the one thing about the Winston Cup drivers, they're not out there to push or shove anybody. They're out there to do the best they can, what they got, and come home with a win if they can.
Driving for Junie Donlevy in 1993 in Winston Cup again, Jimmy Spencer.
Seems kind of unique since Spencer said take the Winston Cup driver, put him to the limit. He stays to the limit all the time.
Look at Parsons staying right in there, hooked up real strong in that number 29 car. And in the 7th, Mac 2 car trying to work under the first aid number 20. Jimmy Spencer in the lead, 1 car length advantage. And here comes Terry Labonte, making it a foursomer. Just back there in fifth.
Those 6-cylinders sound like buzz saws down that back straightaway. They turn them so much RPM on a big track like this. It's amazing they stay together.
A 170-mile-per-hour chainsaw dance coming down the main straightaway at Charlotte. And here comes Parsons on the inside, getting beneath Harry Gant. It's Phil Parsons making a surprising move going into turn number 1. He's going to take second place away from Gant. And also coming up is the 14. Here's Terry Labonte on the inside of Gant. Let's go down and talk with that Terry Labonte pit.
Ken, Terry Labonte can take an awful lot of pride in running in third spot at the moment. He started in 36, so that's a lot of cars to pass. But unlike the majority of competitors running up front today, Terry Labonte has done his own work. He's had his own wrenches in hand. This is his own car. He did his own setup, and he's doing his own driving. And with his crew chief, Pete Wright. Pete, can you guys win this thing today?
Yeah, the M&W Wonder Chevrolet, it's running awful good. He stickled with it. We didn't make no changes during that little break. And all we did was put 4 tires on it. We're just going to have to, we done stopped and got our fuel and everything, so we're just going to have to get up there and scrounge with them and try to win this thing.
And they have enough fuel to go all the way to the end, Ken. They don't need any more stops.
Lead battle. Spencer there. Parsons has his eye on first place in car number 29.
You know, at the top of the show, Phil Parsons said he wanted to kind of jumpstart his career, get it going again. He was in Winston Cup racing and all, and then he moved back. He's run some Busch stuff, and the win today certainly gives him a good boost.
One lonely Grand National victory back in 1982 at Bristol, Tennessee. The Matchbox, White Roses Oldsmobile for Denver, North Carolina, and Detroit's Phil Parsons. Looking good. Here it comes, bottom of the racetrack, through there. Now let's see if it'll hold going into turn 1. Got it.
Go right on past Spencer. His car's worked well all day. He keeps working himself to the front. Last set of pit stops, he just put fuel in the car. Looks like he's in real good shape right now.
From 15th position, Phil Parsons into the lead at lap 138. Back in third is Terry Labonte. Harry Gant is in fourth. Jeff Gordon is in fifth. Side Gordon is Hutch Strickland, but he's a lap down. Bobby Labonte is in sixth. Resendez now lies seventh, and Michael Waltrip is in eighth. There's the interval between first and second. Spencer, number 20, is your second place car. And closing rapidly is car number 14. Here's Terry Labonte getting back in this one. Darrell Waltrip off the pace and on pit road. The 17 car of Waltrip having some problems and coming in.
See if they go under the hood. Yep, under the
10th position. Here's Dick Burton.
Well, they thought earlier they might have lost a cylinder, decided they did not. Now, Ken, they're convinced they have lost a cylinder. They're under the hood looking for the problem, hoping to resolve it simply. It does not look good. Darrell Waltrip has just gone a lap down.
20 and 14 battling for second spot. Here's Terry Labonte on the move on the inside of Jimmy Spencer. Terry Labonte down the inside. Lap 141. Terry Labonte up into second spot. Phil Parsons is your leader. Well, what a revolution this race is. Parsons out in front and drawing away. 28-second pit stop. McDonald's quick pit update.
There comes Jeff Gordon moving to the inside of Spencer off the fourth turn. Jeff has come from way back in the pack. This restart been picking them off one at a time, and he's fixing to move up into third place.
Got it. In fourth, Spencer. Fifth, Gant. Sixth, Bobby Labonte. Seventh, Resendez. Nemechek still lies in 10th. 142 laps are complete. All-Pro Auto Park 300, Charlotte Motor Speedway, live this Saturday afternoon here on TBS. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, join us for the running of the 500, the Mellow Yellow 500. Here comes Gant to the inside after starting 22nd. Harry Gant working underneath Jimmy Spencer for fourth place at turn 1. got himself a fair advantage at the present time. How about 1 4/10 of a second between the number 29 and the number 1, Parsons and Gordon.
I think that's the key, Ken. The number 1 just went by Phil Parsons. He just drove away. He ran him down from 8 car lengths back. The 1 car of Jeff Gordon, no doubt, is the quickest thing on the track now. He's trying to reel in the lead car of Phil Parsons. I'm sorry, just missed the line.
First to second is now just 1 second, so he is reeling him in.
Oh yeah, it's just, boy, when you see it, it's just real obvious how fast he's winding him in.
Here is Parsons leading the race by just about a second as he comes across, having completed 145 laps. The second place car is the number 1, Gordon. And here is Gordon, and you see that he's cut it down. It's like a half second now. Then it's Terry Labonte, line 3rd. Gant is in 4th. Bobby Labonte is in 5th. Michael Waltrip 6th. Jimmy Spencer, line 7th. Tracy Leslie 8th. Resendez, Schrader, Nemechek back to 11th. Kenny Wallace in 12th. Fine race for Parsons. And the first one he's led since 1984.
Jeff Gordon crawling all over the back of the 29 car. Watch him turn that thing down. Watch this thing up the back straightaway. His car really got a lot of power.
Oldsmobile on the outside, 4 to the inside, going to turn number 3. Gordon dives down into the bottom. He's got it. It's 21-year-old Jeff Gordon out of Pittsburgh, Indiana, taking the lead from Phil Parsons. Here they come down off that rocky turn number 4 where you dance that car through at 170 miles an hour. And it remains Jeff Gordon out in front, Phil Parsons in 2nd. Labonte in 3rd spot. Harry Gant is in 4th. 147 laps now complete. Cars can make it on the fuel they have. Jeff Gordon out in front. He's not won since his triumph right here at Charlotte in May. He leads by 10 car lengths coming out of turn 4 this time by. Got him covered and pulling away, Neil.
Yeah, you know, he won in Atlanta at the end of the season. He runs good on these big racetracks. This place in Atlanta, real similar, and he's real strong on these big racetracks.
How good is it?
How good is he?
Yeah.
He's making the right move. He's at 21 years old. It's hard to imagine somebody going into Winston Cup with the victories and the knowledge he has behind him. He's won in everything he's ever been in. And he started when he was 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old racing. So he's a 21-year-old veteran.
The action continues. We come to 150 laps. 21-year-old Jeff Gordon out in front in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Darrell Waltrip on pit road. He was one of the 4 drivers in this field today that was here for the inaugural race of this type back in 1973, this Saturday, prelude to the 500. Tommy Houston, Morgan Shepherd, Harry Gant, they were part of that crowd. Look at this battle. This is for 4th. Harry Gant, number 7, lies 4th, trying to take it away. Bobby Labonte in that Chevy, number 44, and right behind him, Michael Waltrip. In the 6th position, dives down to the inside. Here comes the 44, and Gant, you can see that car shudder for a moment. Slides up to the outside at about 170.
Whoa! That's what we were talking about. This track's getting where the high speed the draft enters into it. You stick the nose up under a guy in front of you, you send him sailing and loosen Gant's car and get it chasing up the racetrack.
Explain how that happens. You saw it, but you don't believe it.
Well, the guy running along there, he's okay until someone gets directly behind him. That spoiler on the rear of the car, actually, that blade shoves the rear into the ground. When the other car drives up behind him, it's no different than a snow plow with a pile of snow in front of you. When that run bumper, you just shove the air up on the back of that guy. It lifts his car off the ground and in turn takes the air off the spoiler, and he's going for a ride.
Invisible snow doing the job to Harry Gant there as 44 takes a position. Let's go to Rick Benjamin at the Stanley Tool Pit Communications Center.
Well, Ken, we've talked about how young Jeff Gordon is doing quite a fine job here today, leading the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. We're here with another young driver who won a lot of races in big rig trucks some years ago. Shauna Robinson, good to have you here. A few handling problems today.
A few handling problems. We were really pushing at the beginning of the race, really up into the halfway point when we stopped, and that was really when the car started feeling real good, and I could feel like I could really come out of the turns well. But, you know, it's a shame. The Polaroid high-definition film car was starting to run good, but we really have to put this behind us and look at Martinsville next week.
You're part of an excellent team, the Don Beverly team, and you've got Polaroid now. Are you set for 93?
We are set for 93. We announced it Thursday, and we're real happy to be connected with Polaroid Film and Don Beverly Racing. And, you know, it's going to be a growing period for me. I'm learning so much every race, and I think the consistency from running every race is going to come next year.
She will be credited with 30th finishing position today. Shauna Robinson, car number 25. We have 158 laps now complete. We're showing 42 remaining. Neil Bonnet, I'm Ken Squire, top side. Down on pit road today, Rick Benjamin is in the pit control center. Dr. Dick Berger and Randy Pemberton with us today. And there you see the leader, Jeff Gordon, number 1. And let's take a look at the story of the race, the Fram race story. If you're just joining us, Jeff Gordon was on the pole with a new record. He jumped out in front. Mark Martin took it away. Kenny Schrader got into it. Michael Waltrip had a very good run, led some laps. Jeff Gordon came back in that first half of the race. Then Martin grabbed the lead another time. Again, it was Jeff Gordon in that fight between the Fords. Then Jimmy Spencer jumped up in front with the first aid car. Then, after the halfway mark, Phil Parsons made a brilliant run, led some laps for the first time in years. And now, once again, Jeff Gordon is in command as we take a look at this Autolite race story from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
I tell you, these guys have really been clicking off some good laps right here. Jeff Gordon is stretching some stuff out on these guys, and I was hoping some of the changes that they made would get better, but they haven't been able to improve on their cars very much. Gordon's car just seems to be so dominant right now.
There you see the story on cautions to date in this race and the number of laps that were expelled in each caution period. This is the guy who looks like he's going to clean house in Grand National racing at Charlotte. For the moment, it is Jeff Gordon out in front, and he's pulling away. You talked about how he had the field covered and was just going, I'm headed home, goodbye. 4 seconds now, Neil, between
but the only thing I can say about that, Mark Martin's probably standing on top of his truck over watching this race and say, man, if I was out there, I'd be leading this thing. But that's just like they say, the fastest car doesn't always win.
Let's find out how Jeff Gordon's car owner feels. There you see Phil Parsons running in that second spot. Car he's done all himself that's running so well. Jeff Gordon's car owner, how does he feel today? Dick Berggren can tell you.
Well, Bill Davis, have you found it?
I think so. We worked hard enough. You know, we got to give a call to the guys on the crew. They really worked hard this week. They really were focused on what we had to do, and have done a great job. We've got to thank Ray Abraham. Came back and helped us this week, and it sure shows. This is the hardest working team in the Busch Grand National Garage, I believe, and I think it's showing up today.
Ain't over till it's over, but he's looking awful good.
Hey, Dick, ask him who the new driver is for next year. Who's going to get in there?
Who's your new driver next year when you go to Winston Cup, Bill?
Well, I sure like that 44 car, don't you?
You get that? The 44 car, guys. That's Bobby Labonte. Remember, you heard it here first.
And he's running 4th right now, just 3 spots back. And here is a battle between number 30, Michael Waltrip, for 5th position, and Harry Gant. The number 14, Terry Labonte. That would be for 3rd. Michael Waltrip is in 3rd. Terry Labonte is in 4th. Hut Strickland back on pit road. 167 laps complete, 33 to go, just 49.5 miles here at the 1.5-mile Charlotte Motor Speedway, where it continues to be Jeff Gordon in car number 1 out in front. Let's get a Goodyear racing update right now. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken, it's certainly been a very busy day of racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not only the All-Pro Auto Parts 300, but there was a big announcement made early today, maybe one of the worst-kept secrets in automobile racing. A new team forming to go into Winston Cup racing next year. This is the press conference earlier today. Junior Johnson, Hut Strickland, and the president of McDonald's, Mr. Ed Renzi. Junior Johnson introducing Hut. They brought out their new car for next year. This is how the McDonald's Ford will look next season.
They also had Junior out there in a 1968 car that they had campaigned.
With a company like that in NASCAR and the sport that we're in today, do it for them, and I know they can do a great deal for me and Hud.
Those are the words of Junior Johnson here earlier today. That news conference at noontime today. Junior announcing that it indeed will be McDonald's sponsoring his second Ford team next year. And Hut Strickland will take over as the driver. It's been talked about for quite a while, made reality here earlier today.
30 laps remain here this afternoon in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 as Gordon leads Parsons, Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Terry Labonte, Harry Gant in 6th, Schrader in 7th, Tracy Leslie 8th, Joe Nemechek on a charge up to 9th, and Jimmy Spencer now lies 10th.
You were talking about Junior driving that car earlier today, Ken. That brought back a lot of memories. We're listening to these 6-cylinders run now. Hut had that 358-inch motor, and Junior had 427 cubic inches out there riding around. It sure sounded good on this racetrack.
Take a look at number 29, Phil Parsons, coming by in 2nd spot. Going to be a great day for him if that car hangs together in these last 29 laps now and brings him home. There you see Bobby Labonte, the number 44 in 3rd, and you heard Bill Davis said he sure liked the number 44. Behind him, Harry Gant is now in 6th. Now there's your leader, Gordon in 1st, and he's got himself a big, and we're just going to let the whole field run through. We've got a favorite out there, give you an idea of where they are. That's up in turn 4. They look so steady here, but when you see them from those onboard cameras, it looks like a handful.
They look steady till something goes wrong, and then they get unsteady in a hurry, I promise you.
Humpy Wheeler was saying about that 4th turn area. He said, you know, it's like a golf course. Every golf course has a bad green. That's some green.
Yeah, I tell you that, but the rest of this place is manicured. I promise you that. What a racing facility we're in, and that's an area on that track. Everyone knows they need to do a little bit of work, and just as quick as they possibly can, I guarantee they'll correct that.
Well, they're still trying to discover what it is, from springs or wells or something down there that keeps shifting that around. You saw Butch Miller, the 17th place car, getting lapped again by Jeff Gordon, who is now just a vacuum cleaner here, sucking up the field as he roars down to the end of this with 174 laps complete, this time by. Now there's Nemechek in the 87 running back in 9th. And his mission now is to try to find anybody that can give him a couple more points. Tracy Leslie would be the next victim if he can find him. Leslie, the former ARCA, Automobile Racing Club of America star. He's up there in 8th, just in front of Nemechek. Meanwhile, look at this battle. It continues for 2nd place. Phil Parsons in the 29, the Oldsmobile there. Then Bobby Labonte, number 44. And right behind him, Michael Waltrip. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Here's Michael Waltrip looking inside. Waltrip making another attack as they come out of turn 4. 44, Bobby Labonte on the outside, and Michael Waltrip noses his way through down low, going into 1. 25 laps to go.
There's just 25 laps to go, Ken. We've got one more commercial to go. Let's get this thing in, and we'll go green the rest of the way without any more commercials right here at Charlotte.
Unless we get a caution.
Unless.
Yeah. Coming to TBS. 10 days dedicated to a legend, John Wayne.
I'll ever be a hero like the Duke of Kent.
And by Max Race Cars. While they last, order the Deluxe 5th Anniversary Edition. NASCAR Gold Stamp Collection featuring over 300 cards. Call 1-800-846-MAX.
Joe Nemechek, who has been running so well, is now coming onto pit road. That car that has been running in 9th place started to slow down in the back straightaway. It looks like a tire is down, a right rear tire down for Nemechek. Caution is out on the speedway. There's yellow out on the track. For why?
Probably a portion of his tire. Some sheet metal.
Here's Dick Berggren.
John Nemechek sits here in the 10th, smoke coming out from the inside of the car. He apparently lost a right rear tire. It's badly shredded. Tough break for Nemechek. He had been running right in there before he had that problem.
So Nemechek, who had that cushion he was building with 3 races left on the Grand National schedule, going to Rockingham, going to Martinsville, then to Hickory, North Carolina in November. It dwindles away, and there's some of the debris up there in turn 3.
Boy, it's hard to see what that is. It might be a piece of his car where the tire exploded, just blew the quarter panel off.
182 laps are complete.
Yeah, that's some sheet metal right there. Came out from under the car where the inner panels on these cars are sheet metal. When that tire explodes, it just rips everything in there out.
27 miles to go. Next time by 25, and there will be just 17 laps to decide this event. We'll have, what, 12 cars in the lead lap. Take a look at what that tire was.
What it was is used up. There's not much left of that thing now. That's what a radio looks like from the inside out.
Let's go to the Stanley Tool Pit Communication Center.
Oh, we're joined by Morgan Shepherd. Morgan, a short ride for you today, but I know you're looking forward to tomorrow's Mellow Yellow 500.
Well, believe it or not, we usually run this race to help set up our cars for the Sunday race, but it didn't work today. There's something bad wrong with our Citgo Thunderbird, but I feel like that our car tomorrow is running real good.
You've had a good season so far. 2 seconds, you've been very close to victory lane.
We are. We've been knocking on the door, and maybe we can pull it off tomorrow.
Where will you start at tomorrow's field?
We're starting 6th. This is, I reckon, our best qualifying effort this season, and the Citgo Thunderbird is running good.
Good luck, Morgan Chip.
Thank you.
Only driver to compete in all 20 of these 300s, all 20. Here's Gant pitting and going back out, as does Jimmy Spencer. Remember, there's a dozen cars in the lead lap. We're showing 183 laps now complete, 17 to go. I think we're a lap away from going back to green. Up in front will be Gordon. Spencer, Resendez, Peck have all come in and taken on tires here for this last go-round. Caution has wiped out Jeff Gordon's 13-second lead that he get pulled out.
I think the only thing that might make anybody be able to race with Jeff right now is the fact that some of the guys did put on fresh tires. I don't know how much of an advantage that's going to be. He's so good on the restarts, and his motor's so strong. When he gets out front, it's going to be hard for anybody to run him down.
How about tomorrow? Ford's already wrapped up the Manufacturers Championship and Winston Cup racing for the 1992 season. Do you see Chevrolet throwing a brick at him out here tomorrow?
Well, I tell you, it's hard to say. Chevrolet won the 600 here earlier in the year, but Ford's a real dominant.
Earnhardt.
It's just tough to say. When Quickie said a while ago there's 20 guys here, he's not trying to sell tickets when he tells you there's 20 people here capable of winning races. There's 20 realistic potential winners down there, and it's just tough to pick who it could be.
Chuck Bound now on pit road. Yeah, I think it's going to be a spectacular race tomorrow. That lap by Kowicki was something, but Schrader came right up there and ran equally well. He broke all the old records. He'll be outside of the front row for tomorrow's 500. And it's all here on TBS.
Talk about spectacular. Look at this shot right here. We're right down there up under the car, helping them work on the 59 cars. So while we get going here, they're trying to get Presley back out.
So his effort to win 3 in a row was stymied today. He had trouble early in the going, being shown in 24th position as he rolls back out.
But Nemechek, the problem he had stumbled him back a little bit. So instead of the big, gigantic gain, it's going to certainly be a gain, but nothing like it was before.
Live from Charlotte tomorrow, it's NASCAR Winston Cup excitement. Jeff Bodine, the defending champion, he's won 2 in a row, goes for 3 tomorrow. And Richard Petty in his last race here on TBS. That's tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on TBS.
Are you going to be here?
Oh, I'll be here with bells on.
Thank goodness, because I would be lost up here by myself.
Yeah, you'd be lost, my purple bunny. Now we're getting set for a start. Neil Bonnet lost.
I made it lost all my life.
You're an old woodsman. Take a look at this. The Busch Grand National point leaders. Todd Bodine out of the race. Joe Nemechek is now back in 15th. He's running a lap down. Robert Presley, he's in 24th. Bobby Labonte's making the big move.
Labonte is going to really close in close to Bodine, and with Nemechek having a little bit of trouble, it's going to close him up there a little bit. Labonte's not out of this thing yet.
Kenny Wallace is running 11th. Jeff Gordon got a chance to win another race here. Field is lined up and they're ready to go. They're up in turn number 2, getting sorted out.
Nemechek, here we are. This is the crew of Jeff Gordon. They're sitting there sweating out these last few laps. Now look up here. We see Chuck Bound on the outside in the red car. There's Nemechek in the yellow and white car, second in the line outside. He needs to get a lap back. Those 2 cars need to get their lap back with the points involved before Gordon's a tough guy to take it away from.
As they come down, there will be 186 laps complete. That means 14 to go, just 21 miles to decide it. So time is pretty much run out on Nemechek from that lap down, and you see him in the box, Bound just in front. There's Bill Davis, car owner on Jeff Gordon's car, hoping their transmission stays glued together for one more big pound as they come down.
You know, you think all the racing you do, you don't worry about transmission. I was leading Daytona one time and broke it on the restart just like this, and you got to keep that in your mind. Gordon's got to get it going 20-something more miles.
Nice, easy start by Gordon. And Michael Waltrip dives on the inside. There he is in second spot. Michael Waltrip, who has tasted glory on this racetrack, trying to sort himself out. And look at Harry Gant, come on. Gant in the number 7, who's back there in 8th, and with him comes number 20, Spencer, and they're blistering the field.
These are the guys that put tires on. We were concerned, would the new tires be a big advantage? They changed tires when it stopped, the only cars.
Ooh, a little touch there from Jimmy Spencer on Harry Gant. Eases back to the inside. 170 mile per hour action live for you today on TBS. Tomorrow it's the 500. And you will see Harry Gant firing out here tomorrow. One of his favorite races, a race he won. 84, 85. First big time we saw Travis Carter. Travis Carter now working with the Bud Moore team. One of the brightest and smartest things that Bud Moore's done. Bring Travis Carter, whose own team was on its uppers, into his team. They've won 2 races in a row. Here's Gordon in number 1 this afternoon, leading over number 30. Michael Waltrip of Parsons third.
Look at Mike Waltrip. That's about as close as they've been able to stay. There's 4th place battle. Labonte going under. Labonte and Labonte. Terry and Bobby racing each other. Bobby leading, Terry's brother trying to catch him.
And Schrader in 6th in the number 15. But the guys to watch are just behind him. And there's Nemechek in the 87. Remember, he's being shown in 15th, a lap down. And then comes Gant in the 7 and Spencer in the 20. And on new rubber, they look like they've got this field where they want it. Just that time is running out for them. Gant now trails by 2 6/10 of a second with 11 laps to go. Back to the leaders.
Again, the amazing thing to me is we haven't seen anyone be able to stay this close to Jeff Gordon as Mike Waltrip right now. Mike is staying with him. I don't know if Jeff is pacing himself, taking care of it. I'll tell you what, Mike Waltrip is running as hard as anyone has all day.
Ford first, Pontiac second. Oldsmobile third, Chevy fourth. Talk about a manufacturer mix. There goes the Lamonti. Corpus Christi gang out here, 44 and 14 at it. Bobby Labonte having a tremendous run, national champion. Looks like he's headed for Winston Cup. Looks like he may be. And look at this. Here comes Jimmy Spencer on the outside in number 20. Gant down low in number 7. Into 7th goes Spencer. Back comes Gant.
Jimmy got the car on the outside of Harry coming off the second turn. Was able to hold that position. He really got a lot of momentum down the back straightaway. The key is, can he hold it coming off the 2 over here?
Here you see the laps to go on this 1.5-mile track. Up on the 24-degree banking. Back with the leaders again. And it's Gordon, followed by Waltrip. Parsons third, Bobby Labonte fourth, Terry Labonte fifth, Schrader sixth, Spencer 7th, Gant 8th. It'll be Kenny Wallace in 9th. Tommy Houston is 10th. Heck is in 11th, Resendez 12th, and 1 lap down. Chuck Bound is 13th. Nemechek to 14th. And all of a sudden, Jeff Gordon begins to drift back out in front, building up that lead. Gordon plowing away.
Well, I tell you, it's a big question mark. Is Jeff really pulling that much, or does Mike just burn his car up running so hard trying to keep up with a car that's that fast on the racetrack? But whatever happened, they're separating just a little bit. But Mike could really make a run on it with like 5 to go.
Parsons may have the handful in 3rd spot. Phil Parsons in number 29. And look at this. Here comes the 20 and the 7 getting underneath the lap car of Chuck Bound. Just wailing up through as they try to overcome those leaders.
Here's Gant waving. Can't see Perry throw his hand up. I'm going to move the outside lane where I can get a good sweeping entry into the corner right here. These drivers talk back and forth all day long to let the other guy know exactly what's going on. Or almost exactly. Spencer was able to get around Gant, but he's going to have a better chance of running him down than Harry does.
Bill Parsons line 3rd, and right behind him comes Bobby Labonte. There is your 3rd place car. But all of a sudden his rear view mirror is full of car number 44. Bobby Labonte has been closing ground. In the last few laps, he's only, what, 3-4 car lengths back. 195 complete. Oh, we've got trouble up in turn 4. 3 cars crashing into the wall. 4 cars solid crash by car number 47. That's Billy Stanbridge, who started way back in the field. Yellow is out on around the track. Leaders are coming back to the line. There you see Tom Peck's number 19 have been running so well. Here come the leaders back to the side this. Ooh, right out in front of the leader comes Presley's car, darting through traffic and damaged automobiles. To the stripe comes number 1, Jeff Gordon, as it goes under yellow with Michael Waldrop in second. Got a bunch of cars in. There's Resendez, number 79, that has the whole front end stove in. They try to get down to the end of this one.
19 to 47 there. The 47 really backed into the 19, right in the driver's door. Had me concerned. He hit pretty hard right on the left front wheel, hopefully instead of the driver's door.
Tom Peck's number 19, which had been running in 12th position. The Resendez 79 got crashed. Kenny Wallace's number 36 and Billy Stanbridge involved. Stanbridge was running 18th at the time of that incident. Take a look at this. There is the 36 of Kenny Wallace. Let's take a look at replay.
They were entering the third turn. Here we go. We picked them up. They're already sideways. A couple of cars. They start stacking up. Now watch the cars sweep down off the banking here. Peck's cars going down to the inside. See the 47 come in. Backs right into the left front wheel and driver's door area. Then this Presley, Bob Presley, the back car pulled down and pulled up against the wall. Then it had him stop. He lost the lap.
And of course, Tommy Houston's car was in there heavy duty too. Another angle. Looks like Houston's car breaking away.
Looked like he got loose, got up into the 36 of Kenny Wallace. Kenny's car goes head first in the wall. We saw the damage. There comes Tom Peck. Like I say, Peck's going to come down off the wall. The 47 is going to come backing in here. Blue car right in the side. There's Presley locking it down, headed to the inside.
Presley got it locked down. He was not caught up in it. He just avoided him, trying to get back out there from the speed shot.
Boy, look at Kenny's 36 went straight in the wall. Here they come, fixing to take the camera off the wall, it looks like. Pretty good jolt. Here comes Kenny Wallace right under the camera. 06 car. Tommy Houston. It's just 3 laps to go. They're going to have to hustle here to get this thing going again.
I don't think they will. I don't think there's a chance we're going to get this thing back under green. I think Gordon has this one. It'll come under caution. We've seen this happen before in this race, too. Decided under yellow.
Kenny Wallace is just soon at the end under the caution. That thing looks like the snowplow we were talking about. The front cave completely in on it.
Celebration about to begin for the Bill Davis team. There's the 44, Bobby Labonte, locked in 4th place for the moment. Ken Schrader would be in 6th. Terry Labonte, let's review that for you. Jeff Gordon 1st, Michael Waltrip 2nd, Parsons 3rd, Bobby Labonte 4th, Terry Labonte 5th, then Ken Schrader, Jimmy Spencer 7th, Harry Gant 9th, Resendez 10th, Houston. Now Resendez was able to pick up badly damaged and pull that car around. We'll see if they're able to keep anything running on that machine. Got a couple of laps to go and they come by this time. It looks like this one will be decided on a caution flag finish. Here's Peck's number 19 up on the hook, coming in. It's already on pit road. I don't think there's any opportunity we're going to see this race go back to green to decide it this afternoon.
I see them. They're dragging some cars out there in a big hurry. I saw the flagman reaching for the checkered flag, getting a black and white flag, which means they're going to pick up somebody's scorecard. Black and white means that's the last time they're going to wave one at you. They got them cleared out there. And look, there's not any cars left down there. And there've been plenty of these things where they give the white flag and the green. They got one more lap. I mean, a couple of more laps. There's a chance of going this thing just with a white and a green.
Kenny Wallace's car coming in.
I don't think he can hold any more flags, Ken. I'm not sure which one he's going to wait, but he's got an assortment of them.
Stambridge's car is in. Peck is in. You know, wrong. I guess they're going to try to get a lap back. Get one in to decide this race.
Boy, what a wreck.
Take a look at that Stambridge number 47. Here's Resendez still out there. Harris Teeter car all beaten up. So they're showing 198. They've moved everyone down out of 4. They have a safety truck coming down the main straightaway, and the NASCAR officials trying to give folks a green flag finish. Trying to have them come across. This will be something.
It might turn out to be an old drag race right here.
It could be just one lap to decide it. There you had a major 4-car altercation. All kinds of cars torn up, and that's about the fastest work I've ever seen on a super speedway to get us ready to go again.
Looks like the place to watch is that flag stand up there to see what they're going to do next.
Field is coming around out of 3 and 4.
Here's a guy that would just soon see an end of the caution. Bill Davis owns the number 1 car, but I don't know if they've told him yet if it's going to go one more lap or not. Yeah.
No, I think that the 29 has run out of fuel. I think that Parsons' car is being pushed in right now. There's 2 cars out here that have run out of gas. Here's the 29 getting a push from Robert Presley as he came down.
Bobby Labonte pushing Terry Labonte.
And Bobby Labonte pushing Terry Labonte just behind them.
White flag's out. It's going to end under the caution. But the problem here, you got here, you can push anybody up until the last lap. You cannot push them after the white flag. See Terry drop him off. He knows you can give him any kind of push till 1 to go. So he'd just drop his brother off and say, bro, I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to hike back in.
Long walk. There's Phil Parsons down on the bottom. And the fuel pressure on that car is all lit up. Here's what brought out this caution. Would have gotten them home.
Well,
you see Tommy Houston's car. Savage hit there by Stambridge.
Yeah, he backed in there, really knocked the back off that car. I was concerned about Tom Peck hitting close to that driver's door like that.
Well, meanwhile, the story is in the back straightaway as we get ready to decide this under caution. And how about this for drama? There you see the Gordon car in first, Michael Waltrip in second, but where's the 29? Take a look for 3rd place. Where is he? Right there being pushed in the last lap. That could be costly.
Yeah, I don't think they'll, they've in the past, they went back and redone this. Let me tell you, people wonder why they all ran out of gas on the caution. The fuel pickups are in the right rear, way over in the far right rear side of the car for centrifugal force sling the fuel to that side, make these left-hand turns. When you run slow like this, the fuel runs away from the pickup and the cars die. They could possibly have fuel, but it's just not capable of picking it up because it's not at speed.
So coming down for the finish on this one, we're sure that it's Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip. Now we're watching as they're pushing the Parsons car back up, but I think they'll probably penalize that car for taking an assist on this caution finishing lap. Checkered flag is coming down. They're going to finish, and they're Michael Waltrip went up and nudged the 1 car across as they came across the line.
Maybe what he should have done, he just should have pushed him across and disqualified him.
Disqualified. That may be what he had in mind. Well, we'll be back in a moment with more from this strange finish to the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. At the Charlotte Motor Speedway, for the 2nd time in 1992, it's Jeff Gordon in the winner's circle. Let's go join him now.
Such a strong performance this afternoon, back in victory lane in Charlotte. How big a day is this for you?
It's an unbelievable day. It's been a long time since we've been here, and car was just incredible today. And you know, it's unfortunate that Mark fell out because he was definitely the one to contend with, but I think we had something for him at the end. You know, what we did to the car at the halfway point really, really worked. The car was really neutral, just unbelievable. I thought Michael was going to give us some fits there at the end, but I just can't say enough for this Baby Ruth Ford Thunderbird. The motor ran great, the car handled great, and I'd also just like to thank Ray Evernham for coming on board. And it obviously makes a difference when he's with us. It just adds that little extra bit, but we're thrilled to death.
Well, Ray hadn't been with him since his last victory here at Charlotte, but how about the end of the race with the caution flag and cars running out of gas? Were you worried?
I was scared to death. You know, they said guys are running out of gas, and I didn't know what they were talking about. All of a sudden, mine started sputtering. I thought we were going to run out of gas, and just made it just enough. Got us all the way back here to victory circle. That's what's important.
Gannon Spencer took on new tires at about lap 183. You chose to not do that. Any second thoughts? Did you feel them coming?
Oh, we had second thoughts. We knew if we come in, they would stay out, and if we stayed out, some of them would come in. But we gambled. We had an awful good car, and I knew that there was 13 cars on the lead lap, and they were going to have to be pretty fast to get to us. But we just stayed real consistent. Car was excellent. I just can't say enough.
So there's the winner for sure. It is Gordon for the second time this year. And for sure, it is Michael Waltrip in second. Unofficially, we have Bobby Labonte for third today and Terry Labonte in fourth. With more on the story on how this race finally came down to this unusual finish, let's go to Randy Pempert.
Michael, a heck of a run out there today. Just didn't have the time, and the caution laps hurt you at the end.
Yeah, well, he was better than us all day. You know, he out-qualified us almost a second. So it says a whole lot for this Pennzoil crew to be able to get this car race ready and be able to make it interesting anyway. He just was a lot faster. Congratulate him. I think 4 or 5 years ago, I ran second to another little 20-year-old. Rob Moroso beat me in this race, and I want to congratulate Jeff. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Hope we can be racing, 20 years from now against each other. Again, I want to thank my crew that did a super job. All Pro Auto Parts for sponsoring the race, and Pennzoil for being behind us this year. It's been tough, but there's been a few bright spots, which are real good to enjoy every now and then.
Can you apply any of this for tomorrow's race, the Meliola 500?
Yeah, you got to run low. I mean, you got to run low. And if you can make your car do that, you can be successful. If you start sliding up that hill down there, it won't work. And, today our car was loose getting in. It's a characteristic of this car. We cannot get it tight getting in the corner. So that's why you saw me just letting off early and going right to the bottom and getting back in the gas. And that helped me today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I got a lot more spoiler for tomorrow, so that ought to help.
We'll be back with more of the story of the All Pro Auto Parts 300 on this Saturday afternoon in Charlotte, North Carolina, following these messages. At the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the celebration continues for Jeff Gordon, and the Winston Cup cars are now rolling out for their final practice period before we settle down for the 500 tomorrow afternoon. Let's go to the Stanley Tool Pit Control Center and find out who the True Value Master Mechanic today was. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, quite a story. We've documented how Ray Evernham came back to the Bill Davis team just this week to help him for this race. Ray Evernham is the winner of the True Value Master Mechanic award today because he helped Jeff Gordon find victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Ray. One other note, we're told that Tom Peck, who took such a hard hit up in the fourth corner to set up that last caution period, treated and released at the Infield Care Center. Very safe race car and a good outcome to that for Tom Peck.
That is good news. So everybody apparently comes out okay. Young Burton had an injury to his ankle, but we saw him walking away after a terrible crash up in turn number 4. Here are the unofficial results, and you can see down on pit road the Big Iron getting ready for their final training period. Happy hour is about to begin at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That last chance to check your program and see who's going to win tomorrow. Who's going to win tomorrow, Neil?
Well, you heard Kowicki. He's on the pole, and he said there's 20 guys. I'd hate to have to pick the one out of that group that could possibly do it.
Guess who's the first car out to go practice in this final training period? Alan Kowicki. Right beside him down there is the car number 10 of Derek Cope. Dallenbach's out. Rick Mast is ready to go. Smith and the whole tribe will be here in just a minute as they'll start that final war dance, getting ready for tomorrow.
You call it a happy hour this last little bit. I remember we used to this was the time we threw every spring in the truck in the car for that last shot.
We'll be back with more here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in just a moment.
Everyone talks.
A quick look at the Grand National points after this incredible afternoon of racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. New man up on top. It'll be Joe Nemechek, then followed by Todd Bodine. Difference of 73. The Winston Cup cars are on pit road, getting set for their final practice period this afternoon here at Charlotte before the big one tomorrow, the Mellow Yellow 500. Hope you'll be with us at 1 o'clock Eastern for all the excitement. Neil Bonnet, Rick Benjamin, Dr. Dick Berger, and Randy Pemberton will all be with me, Ken Squire, to bring you the action at 1 Eastern.